Welcome to Innsbruck in Austria for our final broadcast of the week, and it's time for the lead athletes to pit their wits against that massive lead wall that we can see there on the stage. My name is Matt Groom, and I'm just so excited to be joined by Jesse Grouper from the USA. Jesse, how are you doing?
Hey Matt, super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
It is great to have you, because we said just before the broadcast, I said how much I wanted you in the commentary box, but how you keep getting into finals. So very disappointing for me, but unlucky about yesterday's semi-final round. It looked tough out there.
Yeah, it was a super challenging round, and there are so many strong athletes coming out this year. It's really impressive to see the field. There were probably like 20 men at least who were able to make the finals. And, you know, it's anyone's game, I think, for tonight.
It really is. And there's 9 men in the finals. That's due to draws in the semi-final and draws in the qualifying. But just 8 women in the women's final. And the athletes now are out on the stage observing these routes. And Jesse, look, you've been on this stage multiple times. Tell me, from an athlete's perspective, what is going on right now?
Yeah, so right now we're doing beta previewing. So essentially all the athletes get to look at their route for approximately 6 minutes. So they're going to be talking with one another and getting a chance to see the route that is before them for the first time. This period is like super important, and a lot of athletes have different strategies of approaching this section of the round. So you'll see athletes talking with one another. Maybe they start by just looking at it from their perspective. Maybe they'll start in pairs and then branch out into talking with different countries. But I think one of the beautiful things about this period in the competition is just how it really shows like the ethos of the sport, how you're sharing information with your competitors so that everyone has sort of even playing field and the ability to do their best on this stage.
See, for a lot of people, that's quite a bizarre concept. And we talk about this a lot, but I mean, you're trying to beat your opponent, and yet you're sharing your ideas with them. So surely you want to keep your knowledge to yourself, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to the main roots of the sport, in that I think even though we're sort of competing against one another, you could say, I think that we're really just trying to do the best we can for ourselves. And I think that I'm glad to see that spirit has lived on within the climbing community, and I hope it continues.
I agree with you. It certainly makes it very, very unique. And we can see Yanni Garnbret and Mia Krampel there reading the route together. Those two have been in quite a few finals together. Cheon-So on the left-hand side. And then, well, there's Jakob Schubert. We just saw Jesse Pilt. I mean, Jesse, explain the reaction to him and Jesse climbing. It's unreal in the stadium.
It's insane. Yeah, it's like if you were in the US and you saw some of the greatest NBA players or football players out there. These guys are known throughout Austria and really throughout the world of climbing. So it's really insane to like see the level of this field and who's coming out. So many of these competitors, I think everyone on the female side have podium before, it seems like. Yeah, on the men's side, everyone's gotten either close or have been in a finals before. So, well, except for maybe some of the youngest ones. But yeah, super excited to see the level and super excited to see what these athletes can do tonight.
Yeah, I think the only athlete who hasn't made a lead finals is Serato Anraku. This is his first lead World Cup. Now, Serato is, I think he's just there in the background, in fact. Yeah. Fairly talented young man. He's
pretty good at rock climbing.
He's all right, isn't he?
Yeah.
He won the Boulder the other day. He then won the overall Boulder Championship for 23 because of that. But also, Yanni Garnbret on stage won the Boulder the other day. We could see a double-double victory.
It's possible, yeah. That would be insane, for sure. Colin Duffy, a teammate from the US, did that last year. And I think that was one of the most impressive like sports performance moments in you know, the recent history of the climbing world. So it'd be really cool to see anyone be able to do that again.
Yeah, it was incredible. Colin, unfortunately, didn't make it through. But we've got Brooke Rabatou and Natalia Grossman, your teammates. Give me some secrets. How do they deal with finals day? Do they get stressed? Are they super chilled out?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's they're really good at sort of digging within themselves, like doing some meditation and kind of like having a little bit of chill time, I would say. They also like to do their hair together on occasion. I always am impressed with Brooke's hair. I have to just call that out, I guess.
Well, look, we could see.
Yeah, there you go.
Hair to hair. Look at that.
Yeah.
And that young man there, Mejdi, his dad is wandering around, beer in hand, very, very proud. He can't stand still. He's literally just doing circles of the arena at the moment. Sasha Lehmann, great to see him back in the final.
Yeah, so incredible. Sasha's had a really insane lead competitive career so far, and it's great to see him back. And he, I think, won yesterday in the semifinals, was able to go the furthest on the route. So it'll be really cool to see what he can do tonight as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's legends everywhere. Alex Magos is in this final. The only one missing is you, Jesse, but I'm very glad you're not in it for me. And
I'm here in spirit.
Yeah, exactly. Alberto Hines Lopez as well, Olympic champion. Has had a bit of an up and down time since then, but seems to have turned a bit of a corner in terms of lead, certainly.
For sure, yeah. He's looking super impressive. Last night I wasn't able to see him climb, but just hearing about it from others, like I think he has really been able to turn it on this season, and it'll be really cool to see, all these athletes are flipping from bouldering to lead. Well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them who are in this final right now. And he's one of them who, super impressive to do fairly well in some of the bouldering rounds and now switching into doing quite well in the lead round.
Yeah, and it's been a tricky transition, this one, because, I mean, you as well, you've been climbing Boulder World Cups. And in the past, we've had a bit of a break, but that doesn't really seem to exist anymore. Innsbruck is the break. But people are having to do that. I mean, we have the World Champs where it's a double event, and then, of course, the Olympics. So you guys, I mean, you were a lead specialist, perhaps, and now you have to do both. It's important.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a real privilege to be able to do both, I would say. Like, I think that I've learned a lot about climbing in general just by being able to approach bouldering in a new light. And I think that, the beautiful thing about climbing is that there are so many different disciplines within it that you can learn from. And even if you're just, great at one, doesn't mean that you can't learn from the others. So it's been a lot of fun for me to get to figure out a new style on this stage.
Well, it's been great to watch you all season, Jesse. And look, as our camera pans up, we're seeing a rather unique feature, a nose, or however you want to see it, up
see it
there.
as an elephant trunk. That's my pitch for it. Yeah, for sure. And that hold is actually entirely dual tech. So I've seen this hold before. It was in Villar's final last year, but I've never seen it completely dual tech, so it's entirely slippery, and it'll be really interesting to see what athletes do up there. Yeah, it looks kind of goofy, but it looks awesome too.
It looks bizarre. I've never seen anything like that on a lead wall. But we're expecting the athletes to stand on it to clip the top, but before then they might be able to sit on it or mantle up it. The route setter literally said to me, we don't know. It's kind of up to them what they do on that hold. So we shall see.
And if I was an athlete approaching that move, I feel like you would maybe not know what you're going to do until you get there. So it'll be interesting, like, what game time decisions these athletes make.
Absolutely. Well, we are pretty close to game time now. The athletes have observed. The rope gets pulled. And this is the moment where, I mean, my heart is beating right now because we're in Innsbruck. It's the home of climbing. This is the final of a very long week of climbing here. And it has been incredible. Just describe the atmosphere to us.
Yeah, Innsbruck has become like the mecca of climbing, I would say, within the world. This facility that we're at currently and this wall that you're seeing before you is part of the KI or the KI. And it's really become, it is the biggest gym in the entire world. And there's just so much excitement in the crowd. You can really feel it like when you're in the stage or just like out there. So it'll be, super exciting no matter what goes down tonight.
I walked into the gym earlier on to catch up with a few people, and everyone was training up. Well, you were training up there as well.
I was, yeah.
It's such an intimidating place just to go for a session during this week, because you guys are the best in the world, and it makes me feel very stupid.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I think, the fun thing about climbing is just that, like, we're able to all push ourselves no matter what level you're at. So even if you're a complete beginner, like, it's great that you have things that you're struggling on, just as like these athletes do when you're climbing in the KI.
Yeah, it's climbing is, you guys go through the same struggles as a 6A climber with a 9A route. You talk about BT, you talk about different moves. It's very comparable. Right, Hélène Janicourt is on from France. Brilliant to see her return. Brooke Rabatou runs on with a fan, and this might be the point to point out that it's very, very humid in the stadium right now.
Yeah, it's humid, and it also just switched from being completely in the sun to starting to be in the shade now. So those holds, especially for the first couple of athletes, might still feel a little bit hot. I know in the semis yesterday, like the first athletes might have been even climbing in the sun. So I think that, temperature, weather, it definitely plays into, the potential for an athlete's performance. But also, like, when you're on the stage, you don't really think about that, I would say.
Well,
or try not to.
Yeah, try not to. Yeah, just sweating everywhere. We saw Brooke Rabatou, Natalia Grossman come on, Mia Krampel, another Olympian. And then Jessie Pilt, massive reaction from the crowd, as you'd expect.
Yeah, Jessie's been at it for a long time. I think she won the World Championships in 2018. Super impressive athlete, and really excited to see her back on the stage.
It was brilliant. And there is our Boulder winner from the other day. Only her second competition back after breaking a toe. Very, very emotional. There's an interview coming with her soon where she was incredibly honest to me about her feelings and how much it meant to her winning the other night. And you could see that.
For sure, yeah. Just like breaking down in tears right after flashing that final boulder was super impressive to see and gave me tingles.
Yeah, me too.
That's hard to do, I feel like, in in the climbing world.
Absolutely, but there is someone who can beat her. Aimori on stage. She has beaten her before, as has this lady, Xian So. She enters, and that is our 8 women. So some of the best in the world, and they will be competing on the route on the left of the stage. And we'll kind of go through that route as the athletes climb, so we don't spoil the surprise too much for you.
Yeah, I'm glad the women get the sort of more powerful side of the wall. Last year, both the semis and finals for the men was on the left side of the wall, and there's a little bit more of like a roof structure out there, so it kind of like builds in intensity a little bit more. So it'll be really cool to see the women have a little bit more of a power struggle up there.
Absolutely, and the men as well, their route finishes in the same nose-like protrusion at the top of the wall. It's not the same route, it's a similar style at the top, but they do both have the last move that they share, so that's going to be fascinating. And look at Innsbruck as the birds soar in the thermals. Ski jump in the background, the mountains behind, and that is our crowd who have been flooding into the arena for the last hour. Myself and Jessie were in the middle of that blue awning you can see in one of those boxes, so we get a pretty good view of the stage.
It's definitely not too bad.
It's good. See, people don't realize it's kind of exciting watching it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
We get the best of both worlds. We get to see it on TV, we get everything talked to us, and we get to see the walls.
And the mountains in the background. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is incredible. Well, this is our final night here in Innsbruck. We've had a European speed competition, we've had para competitions, Boulder, and this is the lead, the first one of the year. And there are the 8 athletes.
Yeah, it's been a full week, not just for athletes, but also all of the managers and coaches and yeah, just all of the staff that have been working for each of the teams. You know, they've had a long week of just supporting athletes and you know, having their teams do the best that they can. And yeah, that can't go undersaid.
No, absolutely, it's full on, especially, you know, the teams like yourself, Team USA, who's traveled. You're on the road for a long time at the moment.
For sure, yeah. I think last year I pretty much like was in Europe for just at that 90-day mark for my visa, and I'll probably hit a similar amount this year as well. So it can be kind of taxing, but it's also you know, an incredible experience to be able to see the world from a different light.
Well, let's have a look at our wall. Now, this 3D diagram is done a couple of days before the route's finalised, so there's a couple of tweaks, just excuse that, but basics are there. 10 meters overhanging, 15 meters tall. Starts on the orange hole, and it's separated into sections via colors, starting off on the red, down at the bottom. And not too bad to start things off with, but then these ghost holes that everyone's been talking about. Dual texture and hard to see the bit which is good to stand on. And then into the yellow section, pretty full-on thuggy. Slopers after that, as you can see, a couple of tick marks, and then that's it, standing on the volume to finish. And a big jump on the corner of that wall to a jug near the penultimate clip.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, especially in like a lead final or boulder final. The setters are really trying to use the most novel holds that they can. So a lot of the times athletes haven't seen the holds, haven't experienced them, haven't played on them. So it adds this level of maybe confusion or uncertainty to the route that you wouldn't necessarily get on, you know, your standard gym route. And it also is interesting just in general, like they really like putting these like new holds into the finals or into like a semifinals. And some teams maybe have like seen them before. Maybe you've seen some of them like in a previous like boulder round or a previous lead round. But yeah, it's new for everyone, for sure.
And now we're getting shots of the backstage area. Usually our cameras aren't allowed in here, but they are in Innsbruck apparently, and this is where the athletes are waiting. This is the holding area. And I can see Natalia, I'm not going to talk about it because I can see it, but cooling off the feet, which is, I've never thought of that.
Yeah, that's a great idea for sure. In climbing shoes, your feet definitely can get a little bit sweaty in there, so it's nice to have the most friction feet that you can, and that's a great way of doing it. Yeah, and those are actually really nice, like large coolers that they have in the back tent. That tent can definitely get pretty hot, so it's nice that there's some additional resources to help cool.
And there is Hélène Janicot. She's up first, so she's tied in already. And just a fun fact for you, that iPod thing she's got there's no Bluetooth connection allowed, and it's actually quite difficult for the athletes to find a device nowadays where you can listen to music that isn't connected to the internet.
Yeah, I have one, like an iPod Nano, and it's probably from like 2007 or something like that, so it's pretty cool. But, you know, it's like one of the few spaces in modern society that you don't have any connection to the outside world, which I think is pretty special, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's nice. And Hélène is in her own world there, headphones on, as she puts some liquid chalk on. That will act as a bit of a base layer for her skin.
Yeah, and in the bouldering round, I know a lot of athletes were sort of abusing that fan as much as they could. The fan I'm talking about is like in between Brooke and Natalia. So basically, like they would be like, you know, pulling up their shirt to have it blow onto their chest, or like putting their hands very close, or heads, any body part that you can get to try to cool down.
We need one in the commentary boxes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, here we go. We're going to follow Hélène as she makes her way from the backstage area. Walks around the awning, the black thing you can see on the left, protecting her from the audience's eyes. But in a second, all eyes are going to be on her through this opening, and then she can start to see the crowd, and the crowd can see her. Medals wait on the left, which I always think is very intimidating.
So there's a little bit of purgatory, I would say, this walk.
Yes, exactly that. Wow.
You don't know what's going to happen.
No, you have no idea. And it was quite cool to see that, actually. I like that view. So
yeah, I find this period, so you have 40 seconds to get on the wall, and I find this period quite interesting. So she's already obviously ran through the beta, but since she's the first athlete, it probably hasn't had much time to sort of sink in. So now she was able to run through it a little bit faster, dial her beta. She's taking off some socks there so that any extra residue or like dirt on that might touch her shoes wouldn't be there when she steps on the wall. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and here we go. Women's final will be followed by the men's. And a fairly straightforward start for the women, not too bad. Out to a blocked side pull there with the hand, but a fairly steady beginning for them. Locks off that right hand, pops out to the side pull.
Yeah, it definitely looks steady, but you know, any of these moves could feel kind of uncertain, could kind of throw off the athletes. So she looks like she's taking a little bit careful just to be sure that she finds.
Oh, well, there we go. I mean, we said it, and we immediately see a slip from Hélène. That was a big foot pop, obviously a mistake, and she will take a moment away from the cameras here because that will be disappointment for her.
That's such a bummer. She has so much capability, so I'm sure we'll see her back on the stage. But that's just so hard when, you know, on the second clip, having not being able to show your best.
Oh, I mean, all of that build-up, the warm-up to go out full on the second clip, hearts go out to Hélène. Let's see what happened. Watch the left foot. Oh, yeah, it just slipped. She was quite stretched out on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like her foot might have been a little bit angled, and as she sort of grabbed that next hold, it looks like it was kind of pushing maybe the wrong direction. And it also looks like that hold is quite bad, very slopey, and she might have thought it was a little bit more indented or a crimp.
Well, that was a shock at the beginning. And psychologically for Brooke coming next, you know, she would, in her head, she thinks she's got at least a couple of minutes before she goes on. Now she's thinking, goodness me, like, what is that first couple of moves like?
Yeah, I think Brooke's really good at staying inside her head, I would say. So I don't think it'll affect her too much, but I think that I'm sure she'll be careful, know that you know, the beginning is hard, but I'm sure she knew that before too. But just added, yeah, reassured.
It could be an element of heat. I mean, last year's women's final, if you remember back to then, hello, there was it lasted about 45 minutes, and it had been baking in the sun, so you do wonder whether that heat has affected some of the holds.
Yeah, last year the females actually started in the sun. They were first as well, and I definitely think it affected the round overall. Like, I remember some athletes saying that they felt almost sunburnt after climbing in it. So I think they pushed back the finals this year so that all the athletes could kind of perform in the shade, which is much nicer for sure.
Yeah, and you can see the sun hasn't hit the wall at the moment. There's also quite a few clouds across the sky, so that is a bit of a blessing, but not much of a breeze. All right, so standing there, eyes closed, is Brooke Rabatu. She drops the fan.
Yeah, and Brooke has really become a legend in the climbing community, I would say, over time. You know, former Olympian, has, won her first Bouldering World Cup this year. So she's really, I would say, like on one, as the kids might say.
You're a kid, Jesse.
I'm a kid, yeah. For sure. So really excited to see her lead season as well, after having such a successful bouldering one.
This is going to be exciting. So first time for Brooke in a lead finals. DJ drops a tension tune in the background.
I'll say for the year, she definitely has competed in lead finals in the past.
Yeah, she has, very experienced. Still 22.
Yeah, and she actually just finished her degree this year, which is pretty cool. Not too bad of a start as well. Win a World Cup, get a degree.
It's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
As the years go, and she will want to be careful through here. She'll know Helene would have fallen early.
Yeah, and while my hands are definitely sweating, I think it's great that they're setting hard for the women, especially early on. I think it'll add a level of difficulty that sometimes lacks for the female side of things, like early on. So it's nice to not necessarily have feel-good moves. Come on, Brooke. Yeah, dude.
Big cut loose from Brooke, and I think that's the difference in her and Helene. She went for the move, whereas Helene was trying to do it more statically.
Yeah, having that foot cut and just committing to the jump, I think, was really smart of her.
All right, so Brooke is underway. Our nerves slightly calmed. And as Jesse said, sweaty fingers all around. It's impossible not to watch this and feel every move that the athletes are making. You want to be climbing it for them sometimes. It's it's intense.
And you can tell she's kind of taking it careful in this beginning, which I think is smart because a lot of these holds, as I might have mentioned before, she hasn't necessarily felt before. Some of these will have jibs on them that you kind of have to find. So I think it's really smart to, not overly rush it. And knowing that Helene had, some struggle in the beginning, I think that she'll want to, move a little bit slower. Or at least I would, but maybe I'm a bad judgment there.
Right, her feet are on the big Ghost volume. There is friction on that volume, but it's not very good. There's not that much friction, so you have to focus.
I heard these holds are actually hand-painted today.
Really?
Would be kind of cool.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so none of them are, or they're all unique. None of them are the same.
That is a brilliant fact.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It could be a wrong fact too, but...
It doesn't matter. You're in the commentary box.
Right.
Otherwise.
My word goes.
Exactly. All right, Brooke's on the first really tricky section, this jump up.
Nice, Brooke.
Cut loose, gets the left foot in the pocket on that Ghost hold.
She's really known for having this 3-finger drag. I think she's super powerful and strong in it and could kind of hang out all day. So good to see it out.
Yeah, and the heel hooks as well. And she's got that left one locked in and she swings it back to hold the cut loose. And then a powerful move starts here and a bit of a slip from her. Using the toe to try to get some purchase, but tricky sequence to get established on these yellow volumes. Look at those double heels from Brooke.
Yeah, and quite flexible right now, too. I've always known her for that as well.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see it working.
Yeah, she's got them there locked in, but there's quite a bumpy move up. There's a jib she's going for on the left. Hits it first time and then locks the right toe in.
Yeah, none of these moves look easy by any means.
No, I was about to say, it's really ramped it up. I wonder what the big X's are on the wheel as well. You see the blue crosses? Oh, she falls on those blue crosses.
Yeah, that right hand just started opening a little bit, and it looked like couldn't keep it together as much. But we'll see. Those, that first half of the route already looked very hard, and I wouldn't be surprised if another athlete might, slip up around there as well.
Yeah, super intense. We saw a shot of Team USA and the coaches down at the bottom. So this was the starting move that Helene fell on. Brooke launched for it. brought the right foot quickly back onto the jib and immediately made the clip. So she got through that danger zone. This was the move I thought might cause more problems, but she flowed through it beautifully. And then this is that three-finger drag that became, but this was the move. And it is a powerful undercut there to make that move up to quite a good hold.
Yeah, it is hard too. That's like right where the angle changes. So you would think that you might be able to rest right after that, or at least like take a little bit of weight off your arms and more on your feet. So we'll see how the other ladies, ladies do there.
Yeah, it was more of a foot slip than anything else. Watch her left foot. Oh no, it wasn't a foot slip. She just didn't quite get it. And as you said, because of the angle change, it's fairly blind actually, because you're coming right up under the roof section of that.
Yeah, it's sometimes really hard also to just start fighting like when you're not even, or almost just about like halfway up the route. Sometimes you feel like, you know, it's not time yet to really like turn it on in that way. So it's a hard game.
Yeah, absolutely is a hard game. And there is a woman who knows all about the difficulty. She's a multiple gold medal winner, big smile on her face. And Jessie, that smile, you do the same thing actually, you smile your way through things. Is this a deliberate tactic or like a psychological thing?
We're trained in the US of how to smile, you know. That's no. Yeah, I do think, Natalia and I have actually chatted about that a little bit before. I think like, you know, sometimes even if you don't necessarily feel the emotion, like just smiling helps you become into a good mood. So I think that's really nice when, you're able to give a smile, and you know, it also helps you in general on the route.
Yeah, Natalia's had her share of psychological battles this year as well, and we've really seen her grind out, come back, bounce back from disappointments, and it's a testament to her how strong she is mentally.
Yeah, I think it also just shows how strong the women's field is this year, you know, she is definitely one of the best boulders out there, as well as lead climbers, and you know, when she's struggling, you know, all the women are struggling as well.
You can see the scoreboard on the left-hand side. If you go to the rules of lead climbing, you have to clip all of the quick draws, which is just clipped in the route in order. You can't miss ones out, you can't free solo your way up. And the scoring works how every hold is given a points value, and you get a plus for going for the next hold. But you can't just slap up to it in a last-ditch attempt. You have to be moving your centre of mass towards the next hold and your hands towards it, and it can be an area that's appealed often by coaches. So the scores are preliminary until everything is confirmed, just to let you know. So Natalia with the right hand up, and then she enters, or begins to enter, this dual tech section. Crowd really getting behind her, clapping along with the DJ. And Natalia in a similar kind of way to Brooke with the toe in. She'll look for a way to clip that quick draw above her head, extended so there's no rope drag because this wall is so overhanging. Jessie, the nerves must be kicking in for you.
Yeah,
right
for
now.
sure. I'm definitely sweating a lot over here. Yeah, I really want her to be able to do well and show her best.
So
for sure.
3 fingers in the pocket. Natalia reaches up to the black volume, climbing really quickly at the moment.
Yeah, and really solid too. She looks really confident, I would say, overall so far.
She does. She hasn't doubted a single moment.
Yeah, and I think that's always something I've admired about her in general. Like, her confidence is quite apparent, and I think that it's helped her a lot in bouldering, and you can see that she's just moving through these moves with efficiency and with grit, which is, great. Really awesome.
And this is where things ramp up a little bit. This is where it gets tough. Right heel up, and we're nearing the section where Brooke fell.
Nice. Oh!
And another early fall. So Natalia goes, currently in second place, a little less than halfway up the wall.
Yeah, this route looks incredibly bouldery.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, yeah. It seems to be split into bouldery sections as well, especially those moves we just saw.
For sure. And, you know, at the heart of any rope climb is a bunch of boulders linked together. So, you know, it's nice to have that perspective. I think that Natalia really did a good job of moving efficiently and quickly through these different motions. And it'll be interesting how, Natalia and Brooke both won a bouldering World Cup this year. So, if you haven't done that, I wonder how these moves will feel.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was Natalia, ground up perspective, the B-layers perspective. That's what I've been calling it. That's what they see. So she got the right hand locked in, but the heel wasn't quite there. See this again. She reaches up, gets the crimp in, and the foot seemed to slip or wasn't quite established.
Yeah, it's hard to tell exactly what happened there. I think that, this seems very power endurance-y. And sometimes when you're expecting an endurance route, it can be hard to switch into, just like fighting and gripping really hard, like bouldering moves. So I think that she definitely was able to do that for a lot of the route. And it'll be interesting to see how other athletes can perform there. But it looked like she, climbed smoothly, and I'm sure she'll be disappointed, though, to not be able to fight a little bit further.
Okay, well, finals so far, we've had 3 athletes falling before the halfway point. Mia Krampel is up next, and Mia Krampel's taken a bit of a break for a while. Last time we saw her was in Seoul for Boulder, so she's been away training, and that might make a difference here. The fact that she's not gave up, but she stopped on the Boulder season and then really concentrated on lead training.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it can go either way, I would say. Like, I think that taking a break can be, a really important aspect of an athlete's performance. Not being in this performance mindset and just having some solid training time. But, it also can be hard because you kind of build this confidence through performance and, having going from one route to another and showing that you're able to do each of these routes in concession or consecutively. So it'll be, interesting to see how she plays with it.
It will be. Well, she made the move. Both me and Jessie sort of like paused there as she made the jump. It's nervy. Once you know someone's fallen on a section, it kind of gets the heart going when you see them in again.
Yeah, and I think she was smart with not using the hold that looks very bad for the foot. She switched feet there and made that jump look a lot smoother.
So Mia through the first part of the route fairly easily. And now she's going to have to work out how to get the feet locked in to make these slopey moves count. Brooke Rabatou currently leading the way on 25 plus, followed by Natalia and then Mia Krampel in third. Up to the jib on the right of the volume. And then she's looking for the dish, which again, pretty blind, but it's an instinctive place for that dish, that pocket thing to be. Straight into it, she swings the feet over. Quite awkward, this.
Nice.
Unwinds and gets the sloper, and she'll jump up to the next one.
Yeah, looking strong here.
But as we've discovered, getting through this next part is not easy. So she brings the left knee high up in order to make the clip. Lots of chalk being used. It's getting cooler and cooler in the stadium. It's still warm.
Yeah, so once again, that blue X is to show where they're clipping from or where they have to clip from. So if an athlete fails to clip from that position, they would be called down.
Thank you for clarifying that, yeah. All right, so Mia has a heel in, bumps up and just sticks the left hand. But this heel is where we saw Natalia fall. She's having to fight here. Oh. She slips there as well.
Yeah, so I think that they're being a lot more strict with what a plus is in this competition, I've noticed from previous years. I think there might have been a rule change as well, but basically they need to show that their hips or their body are moving towards the hold as opposed to just a hand in the air. So before, I think people have just reached a hand in the air as they're falling, and that's been a plus, but no longer is that true. So I think that Brooke being able to demonstrate that her body was moving up towards the hold might make all the difference here.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, she's still on that top spot. Mia was looking comfortable.
Yeah, I also think that her position of her foot, being able to take that heel out and press on the top of that right volume, definitely looked like the right spot for the foot to be.
And you can see how many have slipped. That left hand only just made it. Yeah, where her foot slipped, there's lots of rubber there from where other people I've slid down it.
Yeah, and yeah, as soon as you start seeing rubber, like I think that all the options for do I put a heel, do I put a toe here, start coming out, and I think that you know, that adds to sort of like the stress of being on the wall and trying to make these you know, very important, seemingly consequential decisions over time.
All right, well, that was Mia's run. Coming backwards in a really tricky move, and it wasn't one of the route setters. Certainly, when they talked it through with me, they weren't saying that section was, you know, full. They said it's a tricky jump, but they weren't expecting as many falls there as we've seen.
Yeah, it seems like they've really turned it up, as I said before, for the women, which is good because I think the last 4 athletes, you know, placed maybe 10 to 15 holds higher than some of the rest of the field. So I think some of these other athletes will really, you know, be able to show themselves on that top part of the wall. I know it kind of is like, oh, well, why are they falling on the bottom half? But it's because the field is so strong that they're going to be able to get up there.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse than watching athletes cruise up something. And certainly Yanya's been quite vocal about this. Lots have, but they want to be trying as hard as possible. You know, you don't want a route where there's maybe a hard move at the top, and you want to be battling all the way.
For sure, and I think that, you know, these athletes have been training for so much of the year. It's really nice to be able to show everything they have on this stage, and having hard enough routes are exactly what they need in order to be able to do that.
Oh, now this is interesting. So, oh, this is a replay. I was about to say, I literally thought Helen was coming back on. I thought it was a technical incident. But no, we're watching a bit of a replay of the moves so far. So close hands, some big falls, and this move has proved problematic. Here's Natalia, moments before. Made the clips easy, got the heels in, and this camera is on the roof of the gym, and it's got, I've been told by someone who knows more about this stuff than me that it's got 100 times zoom, apparently.
Wow.
There we go.
That sounds like a lot of zoom.
It's a lot of zoom. And Mia Krabbe was our last athlete out before this little pause in proceedings while we reset. And Jesse, you've been sat on those sofas quite a lot. What do you talk about when you're on the sofas?
Yeah, a lot of the time you're comparing data and trying to understand, you know, what one athlete did versus the other, especially now that there are 4 athletes who have already climbed. People are kind of curious, like, I don't, when you get off the wall, you don't exactly know, like, what your score is or how you might have compared. So it's kind of interesting to hear, like, how an athlete did this beta or that section. So that's usually what they chat about. But, you know, I think it's also just like a little bit of a commisery with your, you know, competitors, and especially if you're friends like Brooke and Natalia are, like, I think being able to, you know, cheer each other up and, you know, keep good spirits is very important.
I'm always amazed at that because let's say you have a disappointing round. I think I just want to disappear, but you have to be out there in the spotlight, sort of all the focus on you. It's pretty tough, actually.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely can be pretty emotional, like being in any like finals or semifinals. So yeah, to like continue to stay on in front of everyone else, I think can be quite challenging. But you know, it's nice for the rest of the crowd.
Exactly. All right, here we go. Jessie Pilz is on. She is a local hero. She's won multiple competitions, world championships in this city. And don't count her out from doing something unique here, because that crowd and the energy they give you is special.
Yeah, hometown advantage for sure.
Yeah. All right, she's got 2 clips in. Hold your breath if you're supporting Jessie, because we know this is the first of the problematic moves. Gets the left foot in, and she's going to go for a Hélène-style, more static approach to it.
Yeah, that was impressive having her foot stay on. You could tell she stayed really tight there, and I think that she, executed that great.
All right, she's almost through the orange part. Chalks up down low, gets the heel locked in. She makes the clip easily, and then...
Yeah, I'm sure she's aware that, you know, it's probably moving pretty fast through ISO, so you're kind of sitting back in ISO wondering, like, oh, is this going fast or is it going slow? And based on that, you can kind of tell, like, how high up on the route people are getting. So I'm sure she could tell that athletes aren't getting too high yet, so maybe keeping it a little bit more careful down low makes sense.
I was told that sometimes athletes look up and see quick draws swinging
For
where
sure.
the athlete fell. Do you do that? Are you a quick draw swinger?
I do like to see that, yeah. I think some athletes don't like seeing, you know, where other athletes got, but I think it's really nice to have, like, this idea in your head of, like, okay, I want to get there. And I like having, like, those checkpoints throughout a route. that, I hit this point, I hit that point. I think that you can kind of tell from the ground where distinct cruxes are, and then also like knowing an additional crux that you might not have seen before, or an athlete might have gone to, can be kind of helpful.
Mia did quite an awkward cross on this move. Jessie doing it differently. She got the left hand up, bumps the right hand, and the crowd really getting behind her, and they'll have to because they'll know what's coming.
Yeah, I think it's always really cool when setters are able to create movement that can be done in multiple ways. I think that's kind of understated. Like, I think people are like, oh, like I really want this move to be like forced or something like that. But I think it's cool if you can do a move in multiple ways, and allows you to do some decision making on the wall. Yeah, nice, Jessie.
Yeah, just got that
looking
bump.
Strong. And I'm sure she can tell that this section is hard now.
Yeah, so she's having to turn the try-hard on. So left foot into the heel. Hits that precisely.
And, I think the crowd is also a good indicator as well. If they're cheering for you really loud, you can tell that this has been a section where other athletes have struggled, and you can see her trying to figure out the section. Oh, nice.
Oh, she touched it, and as you said, the crowd roared, but it was only for a second, and then it slid. But that is provisionally the first place for Jessie due to count back to the last round. She qualified in a higher position, so although she got the same score, Jessie looks back up.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting so far. Like, all the athletes have used slightly different foot beta on that movement, so it'll be interesting to see when an athlete finally does that, which one they choose. Like either the right foot on the high volume, the left foot on the high volume. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there as well.
Well, it's been a quick one. We're not far into this comp, and already we're on our final three. Let's watch Jessie again. Made the clips easy through this first part. And you can see now, I'm looking for the hand-painted bits now. You've given me that little bit of knowledge. I'm thinking that I can see it. So that was the left hand. It's not on very much. There is a jib underneath for the thumb. There you can see it. Match the right heel to the right hand. Spent a while locking it in. Calls it slow motion, so everything looks dramatic. And then that's the coaches shouting up. They knew it was an important move. I said that was a good hold. It's not a good hold. It's a bad slow
Not a good hold at all, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see this also for the guys route, but they're putting a lot of holds on this wall that were also in the bouldering qualification or semifinals, and if it's in a bouldering round and it's on a boulder, it probably isn't a very good hold.
That's a really good point, yeah. The holds tend to blend into one in my head, so you're the expert on that one. But it's a good point, because the athletes do learn holds. Like, you seem to have this encyclopedic knowledge of everything on the wall. And before the semi-final round, the setters were saying that they've specifically brought in holds from other places, and I was like, surely the Austrian climbers know them. They're like, no, it's pretty new for everyone.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that really is important for keeping it fair. Making sure that other athletes haven't, if like just the Slovenian team or just the Austrian team has like felt these holds and no one else has had access to it, I think that makes, a little bit unfairness in the sport.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Super excited to see what Janja can do out here.
Yeah, is she fresh? She was over the moon to win that Boulder gold. And last year, remember, when everyone else was falling, Janja pulled something special out. So let's see what she can do here. I don't know why, Jessie, but I'm more nervous for this comp than any other one so far.
I think that's lead.
Yeah, I think it is,
because anything can happen.
Exactly, and you are the worst for that. I always think you're about to fall off, and you don't.
I'm honored, just like keeping you on your toes.
Oh, you really do.
Yeah, I think it's also worth noting that 4 of the 8 female finalists were also in the bouldering final. I think that's just shows the level that these athletes are at. And also Cheun has been in a final in bouldering before as well. So yeah, super strong field in both lead and bouldering.
So Janja rocks up that right hand on the crimp. She had a little tiny slip down low as she made the move up, but moved through it okay. It's a double clip.
Yeah, slips do happen, but I think it's all about how you respond in the moment, how you can relax back from you know, maybe having a little bit of a mistake here or there. And I think she's always been really talented at, you know, fighting through any challenges that might arise on the wall. So yeah, super excited to see what's going on here.
Janja is on the ghost holds, and she comes into our view in the commentary box as well. About a third of the way through. Spotlight on her. She does that cross as well, same as Mia did.
She's definitely making these moves that other athletes seem to struggle with look way easier.
Yeah, very strong as she rotates through the shoulders, makes the clip. All right, here we go. What can Janja do? You know she's in Boulder form. This is a bouldery section of the route, but will she be feeling tired from the last couple of days? Right heel is locked in, as is the left. Easily into that hand movement. So there's a smile there from Janja. Left foot. Oh, she statics it. And look, that crowd reaction, that's what you were talking about. They know what they're watching.
For sure, and she knows that she's doing well now. But she also knows that more athletes are coming that are stronger than the previous contingency, so I'm sure she's aware that she needs to turn on up here as well.
Sometimes Janja has this thing where you can see her visibly relax, and often she gets that from the crowd. You know, when they're cheering, when she knows she's in a dominant position, she sometimes just calms down a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's also the lead climber in her, I would say. Like when she gets to a hold where she can straighten her arm, she does that, and she takes a rest when she can.
Yeah, this is really one of the only rests for the women, and she's got a great knee bar in, standing on the jib with the right foot, but moves away from it quickly. Oh, struggling. Just gets the right foot on the jib, but she's got to clip, and I'm not sure if she's thinking about the clip yet, or if she's considering a plus. Because if she moves any further left, she won't be able to reach that. So Janja has a decision. Can she get something back? She could maybe hook it with her foot from above, but...
There she goes.
Oh, right at the very edge of her reach. It's hard just to clip it. This is a fight from Janja, and it's good to see. Big move up towards the tick mark. Three-finger drag on that.
That was great finding the jib. That can be really challenging sometimes.
Janja goes up towards a pinch but falls, and she really had to fight there.
That was awesome. That was a great performance.
That was good to see.
I can't believe she was able to rest on that high yellow volume too. That looked so bad.
Well, I was like, you could see her be like, okay, am I going to go for the plus point? I'm pumped. She decided to shake out, and I think it was the right decision because she made quite a few more moves after that.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that you probably want to clip a little bit lower from the big blue hold. I'm sure she realized that when she sort of got higher, but that looked like such a hard clip. Like, that honestly looked like the crux of the climb.
You could see her teeth, she was gritting her teeth as she made it.
It also seemed like there was a jib on the like slightly higher part of that last blue volume that she was on that I'm not sure if she actually saw or not. It can be quite hard to see the jibs that are in these screw holds, or the larger volumes from the ground when you're previewing, mainly because you can't go out as far as the crowd goes, or from like the great view that we have from the commentary box. So yeah, it can be hard to see like where all of the hidden holds are.
Oh, look at that face. That's one of the best clipping faces I've ever seen.
Yeah, just awesome.
On her wall. Absolute limit for Janja. And then she fell going up to this next move, a nasty pinch after all that.
Yeah, so I think that the beta might have been to flip here into that other jib and then go out right instead of going up left. But we'll see how other athletes do it.
Yeah, it was right there, wasn't it? I think she was just boxed out of her mind at that point. Kind of missed the thumb, but she was low on it anyway. All right, well, Janja sets our new high point. It was just before the route starts to traverse to the right, and there's a big jump after that sequence. Shake of her head, but I think she enjoyed the fight. Look at the view of the mountains in the background as the sun starts to sink.
She won the bronze medal at the World Championships 2019.
And yeah, Team Slovenia know that could be enough out there. I mean, it's certainly enough for a podium because well, it is a podium for sure because we've only got 2 athletes to come.
Yeah, super impressive.
Okay, Mori comes out. She had a tricky Boulder final round. It was reachy for her. Maybe it was a power thing, but she's come back now and looks very strong in her home habitat on that lead wall.
For sure. Yeah, I think this is the Mori style that we know and love.
Yeah, she will just keep on climbing, enjoying all the crimps and the static moves that she does.
Yeah, I think it's really cool when athletes can kind of bring their own style as well to the lead wall or the bouldering wall, honestly. And I think that she has a unique style that's, yeah, very defined. Slow crimps, locking off to holds. She's just really talented at it, and it's really cool to see her move on the wall compared to other athletes.
Yeah, it's completely different. Sometimes she just refuses to make a static move and finds outrageous ways through it. Sorry, a dynamic move. All right, reaches up and makes the clip, and this is the first move, but it's either going to be reachy or she's going to have to do a little jump. She does.
All that bouldering training paying off.
Yeah, she's been working on it. You know, she has been getting better at it as well.
Definitely. Yeah, to make a bouldering final is no easy feat in this line of women.
So look at the leaderboard on the left. Janja Garnbret way out ahead, 39 plus, followed by Jessie Piltz and Brooke Rabatu. That's our current top 3, but we have 2 athletes coming out who can certainly challenge them for that position.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the bottom of lead routes can be a little bit dull to watch, but I'm super excited to see these sections just because they're so powerful and challenging. It's really neat to see.
Yeah, you are right. Sometimes when it's... Oh, she swings again. Yeah, sometimes when it's super easy down low, especially up here, where you kind of run out of things to say because you know it's easy, but almost every move down low could spit them off.
Totally. Yeah, I'm sweating for her as well.
I just haven't stopped. I need some water. He bumps into the pocket. High left foot.
Yeah, and what just happened with her on that pocket is actually something worth noting. Just that, I think her style really lends itself to, if I miss a hold, I'm able to stay in this lock position and figure out where the hold is, how to find it. So I think that's really impressive and a benefit to climbing like she does.
All right, Eye is on the boulder section. Up with the right hand on the pinch. Just bumps the hand towards the jib.
Super strong.
Yeah, and she might fit quite nicely into this box here. Big move to the sloper, now gets the thumb on the jib. Besides the toe, not the heel.
She's really locked into that right crimp, which is really cool to see.
Left hand on the sloper and then immediately looks left towards the next foothold. But she has to make this clip first, and that right toe is shaking. But she's in, and she'll be happy to get her right hand up. All right, well, she is in silver medal position at the moment. Crosses through. Eyes actually looking really good on those dynamic moves, yeah.
For sure. I think it's, her style, like having the ability to do these dynamic moves or static moves and then just calm down a little bit and, keep those arms straight and rest a little bit, get a little bit back.
Yeah, and she might fit, again, nicely into this knee bar. Janja got it, but didn't use it for very long. I wonder if Eye's even going to see it. She hasn't at the moment.
Yeah, this undercling actually looks quite bad. I thought it was a bigger hold, but it looks like just a screw hold.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was a jug, but it's not.
I don't know if she sees that right foot.
No, she hasn't even looked. It hasn't touched it. She does fall. She didn't use that right foot for the knee bar, and she didn't use it for that move. Well, I can't beat Janja today. She's in silver position.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when there's a gigantic bullseye with all the seeming holds inside, and then to have another screw to the left of it. that's off target, I guess.
Yeah.
It's sometimes hard to like see that as well. But maybe she just felt like the heel would have been the right answer in that position.
Wow, her run is done.
Yeah, really impressive though. Super incredible.
Yeah.
I think especially that move that other women have struggled with down lower, I think she made it look very comfortable and she looked confident on it for sure.
Yeah, she got her body position right the way over to the right, whereas the others were jumping more straight onto it. So onto that. Oh, she had a big foot. I didn't notice that during the run. She had a foot pop there, and this was the move. Got it, and immediately her eyes flicked to the left. And look, it's that right jib you can see by her foot. She didn't use at all.
Yeah, it could have been quite hard to get her right foot up there. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is. It would have been interesting if she was able to get it up there, what she's done.
Well, it's gone quickly, but we're already on to our final competitor. Xian So from Korea is out. She qualified in first position. And she's waiting. She's not out. She's waiting in the background. You can see her under the Red Bull logo.
Yeah, and I think the first year that she was on the circuit, she was able to beat Yanya on in lead. So I think, if anyone can right now take the win, besides Yanya, it would probably be her.
Well, this is the last person who can, and she looks very cool and collected. She has a calmness when she approaches a lead wall that I really admire. She centers herself. She's totally in the zone.
She's at home for sure. Yeah, and I'm really impressed. I would say, before I might have called her a lead specialist, but this year I think she's really shown herself as a combined athlete. I medaled in Brixton, and I think that was her first medal in bouldering. So, yeah, really impressive.
Yeah, she did the most amazing dance when she came down from the wall, because you don't often see her do it. She had this head thing she did, and it was just meant everything to her.
Yeah, jumping up and down, just pure excitement. It was incredible.
All right, well, this is our last athlete out. Currently, the leaderboard, Yanya Garnbrett, Imori, Jessie Piltz in bronze.
Nice, keeping that foot on just for a little bit longer before going all the way.
Cruising at the moment through the bottom. Up to the crim. Look at the way she trusts that left heel. Didn't need the left hand at all. Blocked as well.
You could see her on that last hold. She was using the bolt hole, taking every advantage she can of the holds that are given to her. Really smart.
Yeah, we saw that throughout the Boulder season, really heavily utilized now, standing in it, in the screw holds especially. All right, it's the right toe in, drops down, rotates the feet through. Just getting a heck of a soundtrack to get going as well. Similar to Imori in her foot movements and hand movements. Looking good at the moment. She commits to the moves. She will need to work her way through this section.
Something else that I think is really cool about the sport, even though Jessie is sitting in third right now, the crowd is still really getting behind Cheyun. They want all the athletes to do the best they can, and of course there's a little bit of bias, but they're not going to, forgive cheering to her just because she's not from.
Yeah, good point. When you can hear them cheering her on. Right, she's got a right toe. Now she flicks it. This is a tricky move. Swings the left foot down. Oh, but she bumped into the undercling. And that might have been one hand move, but there Jessie Piltz is going to get the bronze. So she has her head in the hands, half in sort of shock that Xian fell, but half, I would imagine, as well as it sinks in. She's a bronze medalist.
Wow, that was really surprising right there.
She just seemed to do one more hand move than was necessary by trying to get that undercling.
Yeah, it's hard in the moment. It can just feel really right to move your hand to this hold or that hold, but sometimes it just is wrong, and these routes are unforgiving in that respect.
Well, disappointment for her, but it does mean that for the second year in a row, we're going to get a double gold medalist in Janja Garnbret, Boulder and lead. Incredible comeback for her after that injury.
Yeah, that's unreal. I'm sure she's super excited.
Well, you're going to interview her in a sec, Jessie, so good luck with that. But right now we're watching
Do my best.
Yeah, we're watching a very chance run. So it was that left hand underneath. Oh, so unlucky for her. Look at the flick. Very difficult to make that work. And then Jessie, I think, realized that she got the bronze. And the coach realized the athlete is not going to stand on the podium. Such a difference in emotions there in one camera shot.
Yeah. I think that also might be her dad, actually, so double emotions there as well.
Yeah. I mean, do get a few dads on the circuit. There's one who's going to be watching later on. And smiles and hugs all around from the athletes. Janja as well, taking the win. And I think, Jessie, you might have to leave us here and go down to that stage. You'll have to stay a couple of seconds. I think there's a flower ceremony. So, yeah.
The top three, gripping the very first IFSC Lead World Cup medal this season.
So, Jessie, you're going to say goodbye for the time being, go down to the stage. Good luck with Janja, and I'll see you back here for the men's. All right, so Jessie Pilz gets the bronze medal. Mori, silver for her, not gold this time. And then finally, Janja Garnbret looks exhausted there on stage. That is 2 out of 2 for her. Another gold medal. Unbelievable. What can that woman not do? Incredible scenes from her. Two golds in a row. And what a return after that injury. And in that interview I did with her the other day, she was so emotional. She just said, look, I've been through everything in the last couple of months. She doubted herself. She doubted her ability. She said she never understood the phrase come back stronger before this year, and now she fully understands what that actually means. Well, let's watch some highlights as we wait for our interviews this evening. Well, that was what we just witnessed. Women's final done. A tough route. No one nearing the top. And we'll have a bit of a pause here as we get set for the men's competition. Jessie is down on the stage. I can see him, microphone in hand, waiting for Janja. Pretty intense women's final, hey? I don't know about you watching at home, wherever you are in the world, but my hands were very, very sweaty. Tricky moves, and not a single one of them was a gimme. Could have fallen at any second during that. It's very, very tough. Janja there, you can see her running across the stage towards Jessie Grouper, who's waiting in the green. All right, well, let's go down to that stage, shall we, where Jessie is waiting with Janja.
I'm gonna ask some hard questions. I'm going to ask some hard questions for you.
Speak a bit louder because of the music. I cannot really hear you.
Okay, we're good. Okay. Janja, that was an incredible performance. So cool to watch. How are you feeling?
Tired, to be honest. After the bouldering competition, I think it was quite a lot of competing, so I felt a bit tired already in the ISO. So when I came outside, I just said, give it your best climb, and actually I left it all on the wall. And when I fell, I was just happy with how I climbed. So I'm feeling incredibly grateful.
It really looked like it. It looked like you gave it everything you had. What was going through your head up there?
The route was hard, just how I like it. So there was actually not a lot going through my head because the moves were like harder and harder from move to move, and there were not a lot of rest in this route. So I just climbed and clipped wherever I could. So that was all. Basically, it was nothing in my head.
That's so cool, so cool. What does it mean to you to come back and have your first competition be a double gold?
I'm just incredibly grateful. Like as everybody already know, it was my first injury and I didn't know how to deal with it. In the past months there were a lot of doubts, a lot of crying, a lot of negative thoughts, but coming back stronger than ever and winning 2 golds now is just incredible, and I'm super grateful.
Congratulations, super cool to see.
Well, thank you to Janja. And yeah, she repeated what I was saying. It was after that injury, meant everything coming back, and she does like to try hard out there on the stage, so she would have enjoyed a route that tough. Let's watch some highlights as we prepare ourselves for the men's competition coming soon.
For me, climbing is about efficiency.
Doing every move perfectly to reach the top.
Welcome back to Innsbruck in Austria for our men's final on the lead wall. We've already had the women's competition, and what a climb that was. Janja Garnbret getting her second gold medal of the week. Unbelievable performance from her. She's a double gold medalist. But now we turn our attention over to the men, and I have Jesse Gruber in the commentary box with me from USA. Now, Jesse, you just talked to Janja. What did you get from her? What kind of feelings?
She just seems so excited. Like, I think that, you know, it's been a seemingly tumultuous couple of months trying to work through this past injury. And I think that she just seemed to be beaming to have taken both golds.
She was so excited. And she said, look, I like to try hard. So that, you know, I enjoyed that kind of a route.
For sure, it seemed like she, like got what she wanted out of it for sure. Just being able to fight the whole way through.
All right, well, let's leave the women for the time being. I think a comp that will be talked about for a long time. But right now, Alex Megos is waiting in the wings. 9 men instead of 8 in this final, due to draws. And Alex will be looking for more medals. He's already got quite a few to his name. Competed in the Boulder season, but this is really where he wants to be. And he walks out in bright yellow shoes, as we'd expect from Alex.
Yeah, it's worth saying that in the semis yesterday, the top 10 men, or top 12 men, were separated by about 3 to 4 holds. So really, if you think about it, like anything can happen out on that stage. I think that these athletes are incredibly capable and have been on a similar, if not the final stage before. So it's going to be exciting out there.
It really is. Satoshi Yoshida, we just saw him. There is the Olympic champion, Alberto Jimenez Lopez from Spain. Spain's youngest gold medalist in the Olympics.
I didn't know that. That's a cool fact.
Yeah, he's a hero in Spain, literally an absolute hero. Yeah, you go to any climbing gym when he's around and he gets mobbed. Mejdi Schalk is out. So good at the beginning of the Boulder season, won 2 golds, turned his attention now to lead, and he is a young man who definitely has Olympic aspirations.
For sure, and definitely capable of getting there.
Yeah, he's on my list in my head. All right, next up is another young man on my list, Sarato Anraku, 16 years old. This is his first lead World Cup. He won the Boulder World Cup here. He won the overall title for 23 for Boulder. And I said to you, Jesse, I think it just depends on whether he's recovered. And you said, look, he's young. He can bounce back.
I do believe that for sure. But yeah, unlike the women, the men didn't get a rest day. So if you competed in all 3 rounds for bouldering, now you're competing in all 3 rounds for lead in the same 4-day period, which is quite intense. Not just on the body, but also the skin and the mind. So yeah, and then there are about 4 athletes, I think, that didn't do the bouldering at all. So they're kind of coming onto the stage kind of fresh, not having done any bouldering rounds. So I think that is definitely an advantage, but we'll see how much of an advantage it can give them. So
Taisei Homo was on from Team Japan. His teammate Masahiro Higuchi walks onto the stage.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning too that in semifinals there were 9 Japanese men, and now they're bringing about 4 or 5 Japanese into finals.
Yeah, 4 have progressed into this. Yeah, Team Japan really on fire in this league competition. And there is the local hero, Jakob Schubert. Like, he just seems to find a different gear in Innsbruck. It's incredible.
He really does. Yeah. I mean, I think that could be said about him in all competition, but especially in Innsbruck, I'd say.
Yeah, he really wants to win it. It means a lot to him. And we saw how much it meant to Jesse getting that bronze medal earlier on. And then finally, he qualified in first position. Sasha Lehmann is on. Looking very excited to be in a final, eyes wide as he takes it all in.
For sure. Yeah, he's won multiple World Cups before. He's won the World Games last year. So, yeah, super capable finals right here.
All right, so that is our top 9 who will be competing. Strong field, and they'll have to be strong because that men's route looks like a beast. Winding its way up the wall, making it much longer than the 15 meters of this lead wall.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it compares to the women's route. You know, obviously the women's route was quite powerful down low and sustained throughout, so it'll be interesting to see if there are more tricks on the guys' route or how the setters have decided to, yeah, challenge the men tonight.
I just want to see someone get to the nose-like feature, the elephant thing at the top of the wall. I want to see someone stand
I think that's
on it.
everyone's goal tonight, for sure. Yeah, we want to see a trunk finish.
Well, Jesse, when this finishes, if none of them do it, you get on and do it for us, okay? We'll
Sounds
film
good,
it as an extra bit of content. Jakob has a last look. In fact, they all do as they leave, just reminding themselves of what's to come.
Yeah, it's interesting in this period too. Some athletes are able to, and I would say probably this whole field of finalist men are able to fully remember the entire route in their head. And I think that's a skill you sort of develop over time. You know, it's like a muscle. It's something that they work at, and you know, in training, like they might be trying to read routes together and practicing that as well. So this is just one more place where they're doing that.
So the athletes go around the back, and actually I haven't seen this before. I presume they were all waiting, but they seem to be leaving.
Yeah, so some of the athletes like haven't even started warming up if they're going towards the end. So just they take the first 2 or 3 into that back call zone with the large coolers, and then the rest get to go hang out inside in a wall and hang out with some snacks and some walls.
So Harry, you don't warm up before the final starts sometimes?
Sometimes, like if I was going last and I had already climbed that day, I might, you know, just save it for when I get back into finals.
I didn't know that. So how do you climb earlier on in the day, though?
Well, sometimes like there's a semifinals like in the start of the day, and in that case I would. But if I was completely fresh and hadn't climbed in the day, I would definitely start before the finals. Like as we saw with the women, it could be really hard in the beginning, and then you're, you know, kind of screwed if like it's going by with like 1 minute attempts, and then you have like 8 minutes to warm up. So that would be a bummer.
Yeah, you'd have to jog pretty quickly around.
Yeah, but all these guys are very experienced, so I'm sure they have like timed their warm-ups to perfection.
And in terms of that warm-up, what kind of things do you do backstage to get yourself ready?
Yeah, plenty of stuff. I would say, like, you know, there's like a mental and physical warm-up. The physical one is, of course, like trying to get like a medium pump in, so maybe not as hard as like the route that you're gonna climb on, but trying to get somewhat close actually is what I like. Other athletes will, you know, do a whole mobility routine off the wall, also on the wall, doing a little bit of that as well. And then, you know, I guess I have like a little bit of a mental routine, like a little bit of meditation and trying to just listen to my iPod and yeah, jam out to some music. So, you know, I think it's like kind of your own craft is like how you warm up, and I think it's a really important part of the process.
And is your music hype music or chill music?
Oh man, well I actually this is my first year using an iPod. Before I haven't done that, and it's all music from my middle school days. So yeah, we got a little bit of Blink 182, B.O.B.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like my top music that I currently listen to, but it's quite fun in the finals and really brings me back.
I've been Linkin Park all the way, all the way.
Yeah, you gotta have your angsty time for
exactly. All right, well, let's have a look at our men's wall, the men's route, I should say, on the lead wall. Same dimensions as before, 15 meters high, 10 meters overhanging. Starts on the green section. You can see how much it snakes throughout, finishing on the top. We sadly won't get to see men and women sharing that last hole, but the men hopefully will get it done for us. A jump at the beginning. Dynamic move there. I like these descriptions. No feet and paw. Fingery small holds.
Yeah, that's what's going through all of the athletes' heads too, you know, as they're
yeah, exactly.
Slippery.
Slippery.
Hard.
Oh gosh.
Jump. Yeah.
And there is the top. You can see it a long way up from that protrusion at the top of the wall. Let's hope someone gets up there because we want to see the struggle that will involve them standing on top of it.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning, as you said, it's like a quite windy route, so that means that there's options for more dynamic moves, but also the potential to have more moves throughout the climb.
All right, here we go. Alex Megos is waiting. Big smile on his face backstage. He walks onto the stage.
Yeah, and this man has definitely become a legend in the climbing community, I would say. Super incredible boulderer and outdoor climber in general, both on like the lead and bouldering side. So it's cool to see him still doing the comps and yeah, doing quite well, of course.
All right, here he goes.
Yeah, this looks hard off the ground.
Yeah, it does straight away. Quite awkward, you know, odd sequences. Goes up with the left, flicks the rope around his foot. It's the first time we get to see an athlete climbing on this as well. The set has described the bottom as hard, but for these guys, they'll feel more like jugs, but I'm not sure about that because that women's route is very full on.
Yeah, I don't think they ever feel like a jug, but they, yeah, I think that the movement just, you're able to recover faster than other movement, and to them, especially Alex, like I think that even though it looks like some of these moves are a little bit challenging, like I'm sure they're not taxing him too much.
Yeah, he's looking super confident as he crosses through. Good reading from him. But now he's almost got a drop sideways, kind of traverses over to the right. Going to have to jump over, but keeps the right foot nicely on.
Looks like that almost might have been intended as a double dyno. I'm not sure if other athletes will read it that way, but it was cool to see him be able to static that. Seemingly easy.
Yeah,
like that toe.
The safer method anyway.
Yeah. Really like that rest he got right there. He's quite a flexible climber and mobile.
He is. He reaches up to the pocket underneath the small roof, and this is where the angles change. Up towards the second of the slopers. I think the one on the left, oh, he completely ignores it. It is chalked, but he doesn't use it as a handhold.
These slopers look bad. Nice.
Strong from Alex. And he gets a good knee bar in, or a knee scrub in. He'll take this moment to chalk because he now has to go from the far right of the wall over towards the middle.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of finding those rests, as you said, and you know, executing with them and using them efficiently.
Yeah, maybe that outdoor talent coming in here, finding rests and just judging sections. He's going to milk this a bit, shakes out that right hand. Looks down at the clock. The athletes can see the clock. It points literally straight up at them.
It's interesting, this rest, like his left arm when he grabs it is, you know, bent, and he's like pulling in. So it looks like it lends itself to, being more of a right-handed rest than a left one. And that sometimes, you know, really plays into how well an athlete can recover.
All right, Alex is doing well here, nearing the top third of the route. Makes a high clip above his head, though. He's really going to have to stretch for that.
Yeah, this route really looks like an adventure. Nice. It's looking really calm and collected here.
Is it difficult for you to watch this and not... are you seeing how you would do sequences on this wall?
Maybe a little bit, but it's also super exciting to see how others can perform. And, you know, as I said before, like, it's a super talented men's field, and every time I, you know, watch a round like this, like, I'm always learning stuff from watching him, watching everyone else in the final too. So it's a treat.
Alex with a very high left foot makes another good clip, and he's nearing the last part of this yellow and black section. Right foot locked underneath in the heel, into the pinches, bumps the right hand and gets another heel. Route setters playing with these black volumes to create even more 3D likeness on this wall.
Yeah, looking quite strong here.
He's looking very, very good.
He's an athlete that's 4 days on right now, so it's cool to see him still fighting really hard and able to perform.
Oh, falls on the left hand. That was a good performance from Alex. At no point did it look in doubt what he had to do. There is Team Germany cheering their athlete on in the red trousers down at the bottom. Coaches close to the wall and the audience at the back. Alex sucking the air into his lungs as he unties.
Yeah, it's worth also saying that like he's been in so many competitions and you know, has performed so much outdoors that he has this whole like library of outdoor and indoor movement experience, and you know, just like being able to have those different moves like in your back pocket, and you know, like this toe, the knee bar, being able to like use those on the wall and know when to execute. He's really talented at it, and you can really see it in his climbing.
Look at how powerful that shoulder is, just friction alone keeping him on. This is where he felt. Right hand up into the pinch, and then got a good left foot, but it's awkward because you're being pushed out from the wall by that black volume.
For sure. Yeah, it looks like you really want to like shift your hips over left onto that foot, but obviously it's really hard to do that when you're tired.
And you can see that angle's great for showing how overhanging the route is.
Yeah.
And do check out the quick draws as well, how far away from the wall they're hanging. Gives you an idea of it. All right, so Alex sets our first high point. We have an understanding of the route now.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a couple of tricky moves down low. Obviously, like the men's field is quite good at bouldering in general, but it'll be interesting to see if like anyone kind of gets tripped up there, or if everyone gets to where he got.
All right, well, next athlete is out. Satomi Yoshida from Japan enters the stage. We haven't seen him climb since Morioka in Japan last year for the combined competition. So either not being selected or not choosing to compete in the boulder.
Yeah, I think he was top 10 in the lead circuit last year, so it's impressive. Like the Japanese have a whole like lead contingency, which is making finals right now, which is really cool. So just focusing on the lead season and not the combined. Whereas you know, I would say the majority of athletes this year are focusing on both.
He is about to get underway. Makes sure of the left hand and launches up into the green section. Coming up to 8:50 here in Innsbruck. My name is Matt Groom. I'm joined by Jesse Gruper in the commentary box from Team USA.
Hello.
Great to have your insights as we watch Satomi climbing. Blocked crimp, you have to be accurate. Like Alex did, just being very precise with his moves, reading it well. Those dots on his arm, by the way, they are titanium or some kind of metal that a lot of athletes used last season. I got many, many questions about this. It's sort of who knows if science or psychology plays a part in those things, but we do see quite a few athletes use them.
Yeah, I've always thought they're for antiperspirant, but you know, I think rumors
yes, exactly.
have been spread.
Crosses over, and different from Alex. Alex did it very statically. Satomi used the swing and momentum to pull him round.
Yeah, I think Alex still like was able to do it dynamically. He just like, yeah, maybe started the motion a little bit more dynamically to begin with.
Okay, Satomi rests for a sec, chalks up, and then carries on. Ooh, cuts loose with the feet, but then gets the toe in.
Nice. Yeah, and these are the holds that actually like were in the bouldering final. So, or have been in bouldering final. So yeah, definitely not easy grips out there.
Not at all. And he's not. Oh, now he's using the Alex knee. He's using the knee bar that Alex used.
Yeah, it doesn't look as comfortable for him, I would say. He's using his right knee, and I think Alex uses his left.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite as locked in. Alex took a long time here, and you can see the knee moving around. Alex's knee just didn't move when he had it in position.
Yeah, and coming out of that rest a little bit faster than Alex as well.
Yeah, plenty of time. Clock's on the bottom right of your screen. The athlete has to clip the final quick draw before that finishes.
Yeah, I think Alex was actually around like 2 minutes by this point. Usually he's like a very fast climber, but it seems like Satomi is moving, yeah, even more quickly, which is cool.
Yeah, he's motoring through this, but he tried to make this clip and then decided not to. Went for the different position. That looks easier. And then gets a heel where the setters definitely didn't want him to get a heel because they blocked it. And he's perhaps regretting not resting earlier because he wanted something back there.
Yeah, I think he was trying to figure out if he could take another rest before coming into this top of the wall.
Still climbing it powerfully.
Yeah, still looks strong.
And he's moving really quickly. And you do tend to see this at the beginning of the lead season, that athletes are maybe in Boulder shape, and I asked a few of them what their tactics were, and they just said, I'm going to climb as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and I think that he's one that, you know, has been just focusing on the lead season, unlike Alex. So he's been able to, you know, kind of take time to really be able to train like recovery, and, you know, it seems like it's paying off like on this ball right now, for sure.
Yeah, he's approaching Alex. His high point falls with the left cross through. And maybe feels like he made a mistake. He didn't look that tired.
Yeah, I think as you said, Matt, like I think he was really trying to find like a rest by the time he got to like that black volume, and it seemed like he couldn't quite find one and just kept like motoring through that section, and yeah, maybe regretted as you said, like not taking longer on the lower rest as well.
Yeah, because he retreated back and then tried to get a heel on the block hold, tried to get a heel in the dish. Coach is shouting out. They travel the world as much as the athletes do.
Or more. Sometimes they'll do both like the speed team and then also like the lead and boulder team. So
yeah, youth
like
as well.
Yeah, youth, para, you know, they're helping out for everything sometimes.
Yeah, we should shout out your coach, your head coach, Josh Larson, as well, who's a very hard-working man.
Yeah, and Meg Coyne and Zach.
Meg and everyone, yeah.
A bunch of helpers here. Oh.
That was the fall with the left hand.
Yeah, it also looked like he maybe just like misread a little bit like where the hold was, or the angle of it. It's sometimes kind of hard to see holds like what angle they're at when you're right below them. And it looked like he was like kind of like underneath the black volume, so coming around that, you kind of have to like quickly see it and grab it at the same time, which can be a big challenge.
Yeah, he was too high on it, didn't hit the sweet spot. Okay, next up, Alberto Hines Lopez enters the big stage. Being calm and collected, a man used to the pressure. I mean, there is no bigger stage than the Olympic stage where he won gold.
Not too bad.
It's all right, isn't it? And of course, speed has been dropped, well, not dropped, sorry, separate discipline in the next Olympics. And I think for a lot of the lead and boulderers, they will be happy with that decision.
For sure.
Did you do much speed training along the way?
I did once for collegiate nationals. Yeah,
were you good?
Was pretty fun. I was excited with the improvement over time. I wouldn't say that I'm good compared to any of the other athletes out there, but or at least on the world stage. But it was a lot of fun.
Alberto with the heels in. Green shoes matching the green holds.
Yeah, color coordination is everything.
It's important. It really is. I consider the wardrobe. Or they consider the wardrobe. All right, right foot out. Drills it in. Presses with the left shoulder.
Nice.
There's the Olympic rings. You can see them hiding around the corner of his arm. The Anyas are on her right ankle. Good route reading and easily through this part. And will we see method number 3 here?
So many methods.
Someone sent us, someone sent Alana a mathematical breakdown of how many moves, how many possibilities there were on a boulder the other day. Oh, big swing from Alberto.
Yeah, so smooth. He's quite powerful as well.
Yeah, trained a lot with Adam Ondra back in the day. Right hand sticking on the sloper, and he's coming up to the first possible rest. Brings a right leg up, left in, and he immediately gets the left knee bar. It'll be interesting to see if the rest of the Japanese athletes have read that the same way as Satone did, or whether they've changed things. Because Satone did not see this.
Yeah, sometimes I think that the Japanese athletes, either because of a language barrier or because there are so many of them, kind of like can just like sequence with one another, and then the Europeans might or whoever else is in finals might also have their own contingency. So it can be interesting like how they come up with certain betas.
Yeah, we saw the Korean team in the semi-final misread a sequence down low yesterday.
Yeah, that's really rough when that happens, when your whole team kind of makes the same mistake.
Yeah, hard for us as well, because you know that they might be doing it wrongly.
Yeah, it's kind of like a blueprint, I would say. Like, I think when you're on the wall, like, you're still looking for other alternatives and other solutions. And I think that's really important to lead climbing as a game overall. Not that you're just, committing to the same sequence, but it's also important to keep moving and trust yourself on the wall.
All right, so Alberto
Nice.
hits the 3-minute mark on the clock.
Yeah, also getting here faster than I would say like Alex did. I think there might have been some blood on that hold actually.
Yeah, blood not meant to be there. I wonder where that's come from. It was Alberto or someone before. It's harder to call someone down for a blood thing when they're up on a lead wall. Alberto rocks up on that right heel. Fumbles the clip the first time, gets it the second, and shakes out.
Yeah, I really think these quick shakes up here are going to be everything.
Oh, hesitation there. The right foot moved and bobbled for a sec.
This is a move I think Satone struggled with.
He did, yeah, crossing through to this.
Oh,
the foot goes.
Not sure if he'll give him the plus there, as his body was
Yeah, he
falling.
didn't seem to go towards the next hold.
Yeah, even though his hand was going up. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, tricky for Alberto. So a slip from him before he could really make the move into the hold that Satone dropped. All right, so Alberto won't take the gold medal today for sure.
Yeah, just super impressive, I think, that he's in finals again, and I'm sure he'll be excited at least with that part.
He does more competitions than almost anyone else. It seems to be his thing. And when he won the Olympics, I think it was even at Briançon before, he was just everywhere. And it seemed to work for him, and obviously he's continuing that into this season as well.
True.
He arrived in Tokyo very, very late when he won his gold. Big swing, got the right foot up. We're about to watch the moment where he fell. Got the pinches, let's watch the feet. That seems to be what happened.
Yeah, I really like this drop knee, but it just seemed to, maybe be a little bit too low, and that twist was, just too much for it.
Yeah, you can see it exploding backwards as he twisted.
It's always a bummer when your foot picks off the wall before you're able to commit to a move. That's really not a good feeling. I think one hard part about having a final with 9 is you're gonna, the worst that you could do in this final is 9th as opposed to 8th. I think that's just like one spot below where a finals typically would get you. I know also the IFSC pays out through 8th.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so I think that whoever ends up in 9th doesn't get paid, and then the rest of the finals gets money.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so
we should start crowdfunding.
Get
someone funded.
Well, I feel like they should
yeah, definitely.
add a little bit or something.
Come on, guys, get your wallets out.
Consolation prize.
Yes. All right, Mejdi is on.
Yeah, so Mejdi, I think, he had a really successful start of the bouldering season and did a few comps and then stepped away from them in order to pursue lead. So obviously paid off for this final, and it'll be interesting to see, if he can keep it up.
All right, here we go. He has taken some time away to work on his lead. His teammate Oriane Berton missing from this comp. She's choosing to go away. And we have seen athletes picking and choosing events this year as we build up towards the World Champs in Bern, beginning of August, which is coming frighteningly close now, just not a bit away.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Mejdi in the corner, reaches up to the first of the pockets.
Yeah, and I think this final you're really seeing that decision of what comps to do really paying off, like him not doing the bouldering round so that he can have a slightly better lead round, hopefully. I think, has worked out. And I think it is like a very tactical decision, like which comps you're doing, and it's part of the game of this season.
Absolutely is. Everyone wanting to qualify for the Olympics, and that World Champs is the first opportunity to do that. And double points as well for Continental.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely when you want to peak, I think.
Big swing, but he loves those kind of moves and makes it look simple.
For sure.
Up into the pocket. Up to the slopers.
Little foot slip there.
Foot slip, but he gets that left in. I do wonder why they chalk that left volume. Maybe it's a bit of a red herring.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
It seems to no one's even gone near it. It's just a toe hook.
For sure. Sometimes I feel like there's just chalk on a hold and they don't take it off, but yeah, hopefully, usually setters wouldn't do that. I do think one thing to note, like I think that setters have started trying to add in more dynamic moves, or you know, like a boulder move here or there, and I think it's always interesting to me because even though like it might look cool to the crowd, you kind of like have to give them a better hold to either jump to or jump off of, which leads to a rest that you're seeing right here. So I think like, you know, it's exciting, but I think also like it's exciting to see people continually get pumped and maybe not rest. So I think there's like a definitive drawback to adding in moves like that.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. It's a good point, yeah, because if you're jumping around, you need it a bit bigger. We just saw a shot of Helen there. Oh, Mejdi cuts loose. That will have cost him a little bit of energy.
Yeah, but he's looking really strong too.
He is. Always exciting to see him climb. Look at that one arm drop down. The crowd love that. Oh.
Yeah. Awesome.
I often know the shots that are going to be on an IFSC Instagram page, and I think that one might be on it. Oh, but just as he swings out, doing a bit of his own style here. Micro shakes, but he's approaching the first real crux of this route.
Yeah, it's impressive he's able to rest here. I know other athletes sort of have like tried to find a good position, so it's cool that he's able to get a couple shakes there.
Left hand on the pinch.
Yeah, and even though he was like sort of jumping around there before, like I think he looks like he kind of calmed down for the section in order to execute up here. Well, let's see if he can do this move.
He slid the right toe out to catch himself.
Nice. Oh,
he falls there too.
Same move. Wow.
Tell you what, Alex, who came out first in 44 plus, is looking good at the moment.
I mean, he has won a World Cup before, so.
Yeah, he's got that.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, that the guy who comes out first, you know, could do it.
Yeah, any of them. I mean, just looking at the stats from it, all of them, apart from Mejdi, have got medals before in lead.
Yeah, probably Serato too, but yeah, crazy.
Oh, sorry, yes, Serato too.
And I don't know if Satone has as well, but yeah, a lot of them.
Oh, yes,
sure.
it doesn't complete rubbish, Jesse. Please ignore me. Yes.
Calling you out, Matt.
I can't even read my own stats. Okay. Yeah, true. So 3
yeah,
of
a lot
the top.
of them.
There are a lot, 9 of them. Yeah, so 3 out of the top 9 haven't won before. Apologies. So this was Mejdi's rest. He got the left in like Alex did. And look at this drop down move. The crowd went crazy when he did this.
Yeah, I think, you know, you saw like sort of Satone and Alex like using their feet just as a smear. And it kind of just like saves your arms a little bit. It seems like he was able to get a lot back, but I do think that might have been a little bit taxing for him there.
Yeah, I guess those dynamic moves, if it's in your style and it's the most efficient way through for you, sometimes it's worth going for it rather than trying to work out a more statically safe way.
For sure. I think, yeah, following your strengths is definitely important. And it's cool to see that, you know, he kind of switched into that lead mode on the top after doing those more dynamic moves.
And now it's time for the youngest competitor in this fight.
Well, Serato Anraku is waiting in the wings as we see the final fall from Mejdi. Serato's already got a gold. It would be pretty cool if we see a double-double gold with Janja winning double gold and then Serato winning double gold, but he's got a lot of fighting to do before he gets to that stage.
Yeah, and I also think he might be the only finalist who was also in the bouldering final. So, you know, that's extra skin, that's extra energy. qualifiers was at 8 a.m. in the morning the day after finals, which finished at around like 10 p.m. So I don't know what number he went, but it definitely wasn't much sleep of a night, and I hope he has recovered and able to show his best out here.
I saw Brooks' Instagram. She was cycling into ISO at like 6 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
Early start.
Yeah, I was second on my route, and it was definitely a pre-6 wake up call there. So yeah.
All right, here we go. Serrato takes his time, rests at the beginning, just make sure he's chalked up and ready.
I've heard the word sticky be used a lot for describing his style, for sure.
Yeah, I got told that. And once you've been told that, you can't see it,
Yeah. He puts his hand on and it doesn't move.
Yeah, once he's touched it, that's it.
Yep.
Right, makes the clips. So the crowd are asked to cheer. They do. It really is absolutely packed down in the stadium.
Yeah, definitely pretty cool that, someone who's nearly half Alex's age is, competing in the same final and, could outpace him in some way.
Yeah, you do feel like there's a bit of a changing of the guard at the top level at the moment. Having said that, Jakob is out soon, and it's definitely...
For sure. Yeah, at the same time, I think it is an older final, for sure, than, some of the bouldering ones.
All right, so Sticky Serrato sticks well. Look at that swing. Kept his legs together, controlled it. High left toe hook, that's clever.
And we saw Alex with the high right toe hook. Looks like the high left one also works.
Yeah, it's kind of begging out for it, isn't it? They're good toes there. Using the rubber on top of the shoes. And that left foot just has not moved.
Was hat denn noch an Energie gesetzt? Die Woche ist extrem lang. Und der hat sich schon vorher rauslassen, hat die Quali gewonnen. Winner of qualification. How much energy is there?
It feels like the first half of this route is a case of not over gripping, not getting pumped, saving yourself for the middle section.
Crazy that he's resting right before there. Nice.
Oh, he needs to get a foot up. For a moment, he battled. He'll make the clip, and I think he's going to lock the knee, and he's seen it. No, he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's interesting, different body sizes kind of fit into rest differently. I think that for Alex, maybe it was pretty convenient to keep that knee, but for him, maybe it's not needed. Maybe he's not even that tired right now.
Which is outrageous to think about. Yeah, he looked comfortable in that straight arm position on. He didn't really need the knee. But look, he's resting in interesting places, always with the toes, choosing every opportunity to shake out.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's always interesting, what athletes decide to use, toes, heels. Kind of shows to your strengths.
Right, Serrato crosses underneath. Right hand in the pocket, and everyone knows what's coming, though. Holds the swing. Super exciting now. The sun gone, long gone. The spotlight picking him out. Up to the pinch with the right hand. Another pinch. Final series of crimson. This is where the athletes have really struggled so far. Swings again.
Cutting feet there.
Oh, and he misses the left as well. So the points all around 42 plus. Only Alex getting through so far, but Serrato jumps up to silver with that due to count back. And I think he must be pretty happy with that. So more than halfway through now. Look at the concentration. Fingertips on. Found a left toe on that left hand.
Yeah, I think this just shows how stacked the field of men is. Just that everyone's kind of getting to the same position. It just represents like everyone is there and everyone is fully capable of making these moves and doing them well.
Really exciting in this final.
Yeah, Alex still holding down the fort.
Shaking his head there.
Yeah.
And he's fully on it. Serato was high on it. So Tony was high on it. Serato gets it nailed, but couldn't hold it.
Yeah, it looks like it's like tilted just enough that you probably need the foot out right, and keeping that bicycle might not be the ideal solution.
And it's fascinating how everyone hits those black volumes and suddenly picks up the pace. It's like, you can feel it getting harder. All right, so that's the scores. Alex out in front with 44 plus. Everyone else round about the 42 plus. Serato, we just saw him in silver. Mejdi in bronze as things stand. 4 athletes to go, finishing with Sascha Lehmann.
Yeah, a lot of ties for the men. It's pretty interesting.
It is, and do remember we saw lots of appeals in the semi-final. So things are provisional. Let's chill out a sec as we watch some highlights from earlier on. Well, the crowd is waving back and forth here, being told to go left and right by the DJ, hyping them out for our last 4 athletes as if they need it. I mean, they're excited enough already. Sun setting in the background, the clouds lit up a beautiful blue as the sun sets. Our wall blue as well. And we are ready for our last and final 4 athletes. Taisei Homma will return. There he is, and interestingly, he had a fairly bad ankle injuries before this season. Posted on Instagram that he was ready and back, and it's he had some, you can see the left ankle strapped up, and he had a nasty heel toe cam in at one point, which I was very worried about.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, he had a really incredible season last year. He's been competing since at least 2019. We were in like a final together way back then. And it's, really incredible to, see him bounce back from that ankle injury and be all the way back on a World Cup final.
I always think your style is quite similar to him, which is that I'm terrified the entire time he's climbing. Like, I just never know with either of you when you're pumped, when you're going to fall off, when you're absolutely fine.
I think he looks a little bit better than me, I would say. No. Yeah, but no, he's a really talented climber, and I think his style is, definitely conducive to mine as well, and I think we get along in that sense.
Yeah, it's just both of you can just grind out moves way past the point where you have any rights to be still on the wall. It's incredible to watch both of you.
We earn our right.
You do, you really do. All right, Taisei is underway. You can see all of the athletes on our leaderboard stuck around that 42 point. Alex just ahead.
I think he's usually actually an athlete who, maybe like performs the best in a final. There have been several times when he came out kind of low down in a final and then came back pretty fast. So really interested to see how he, can perform here.
What's he like at Boulder? Do you know?
I only think he competed in Morioka, and I think he did okay. I think I want to say he made the semis at least there. I would have to check though.
Yeah, I'll have a little look. No, I just wondered if you'd ever bouldered with him.
Yeah, that was the only time, and I was impressed for sure.
Yeah, he was 6th in Morioka. Yeah, doesn't really tend to do any boulder comps. I'm looking down his stat list now, it's all lead. 4th in the FISU Games, which was the University Championships last year for Boulder.
Yeah, I think the Japanese team is just so stacked that even though he's so talented at lead, there just might not be a position for him.
Crazy, isn't it?
Boulders, yeah.
Well, the USA team pretty stacked as well. You guys have to fight for selection.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, interesting. Like mobility, I feel like is really playing a role in this rest. Athletes who might be a little bit more on the mobility side of things, like are able to get that toe and do a quick shake, like we saw with Serato and Megos. So kind of interesting.
Taiso comes up towards the first rest, making sure of the feet.
Yeah, and you know, I think the past two athletes actually, each of them have slipped on those feet, so pretty smart of him to play it a little bit more careful.
Yeah, he's looking good. That's the heavily taped ankle. Brings the right up, and yeah, really depending. I think you're completely right about this rest. Although the knee looks from an observer like it's best to put it in, sometimes you just don't necessarily need it. I mean, he's using it, but sometimes just having the straight arm and the foot up
for sure
does enough.
Yeah, and he came second in the overall series last year, so definitely has a lot of experience on this stage. Knows what he's doing up there.
He does indeed.
Finding those rests and keep moving.
Yeah, and he's going to have to find something special to get through that crux, because someone needs to sit on that nose. Someone,
we want to
please.
see it. Come on.
I just want to see someone sitting on it and waving at the crowd. Taiso crosses under, pops a foot, but holds on. I hope we saw mention do that as well.
This is cool going feet first. And getting the clip.
Yeah,
first.
He made that look okay. And now he's got to do this drop down on that left arm, but he has the toe in as well. Oh, just casually unwinds. This is very different. He spins.
Yeah. Full campus there. I know Mej did that as well, but yeah, we haven't seen many athletes do a full campus off of those holds.
Taiso up the left now, into this pinchy part of the wall. All the holds similar.
Yeah, he's really talented at recovering off of these small shakes. So I think, like, even though he's looking a little bit tired, like, I think he'll be able to get it back and find a couple quicker shakes.
What do those micro shakes allow you to do? Like, what are you looking for in that moment?
I think it's a couple of things. One is just sort of like lowering your heart rate, but two would also be, yeah, like taking a couple breaths for that heart rate, and then kind of just making your forearms feel a little bit better as well. You know, if they start getting pumped, just like doing that quick relaxation allows you to add a little bit more tension later on.
Well, he's been doing lots of them, so let's hope he's got something back here. Out into the pinches again, and this is where everyone else has started to suddenly really focus, because things get hard here.
He's definitely looking a little tired, but
he's looking a bit tired. He falls as well. And look, he was hobbling there on the ground, so I think it was more the rope than the bad ankle.
Yeah.
Look at that sky in the background, beautiful. Yeah, he used every rest possible, every shake, and still was burning out, which shows you how difficult it was.
Yeah, I think that campus honestly might have taken a little bit more out of him. I think we haven't seen athletes do a full 360, so you know, interesting read, and too bad that it didn't quite work out through that higher section.
There's a very bright new black diamond helm harness there. It's the new celebration for the Olympics colours.
Yeah, and just to your point, like, I think like he'll just be super excited to have come back from the injury and already be in a final, and I think he'll be competing for the rest of the season as well. So I'm sure we'll see him again out here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he actually injured it. It was bad, wasn't it? That
yeah, I actually don't know how he injured it either.
No,
but
it was like
yeah,
a proper break or crush.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
not able to walk on it for a good amount of time. Yeah, it was really sad to see. But I don't know. I think that is, you know, unfortunately a part of the game, and it's, you know, about having like that grit to be able to recover, and he definitely has that.
Well, the camera keeps focusing on Alex because he is in the lead. It's the Star Wars theme tune in the background. It's like Darth Vader entering the stage, but instead of Darth Vader.
Who's our Darth Vader?
Well, Darth Vader's Masahiro Higuchi.
Oh.
Who knew? Who knew?
Yeah, surprise.
Well, Taiso, we see him fall once more. Yeah, he missed the left hand. Watch the right hand as well. That might have popped while we're getting the view of it. No, it was that
Yeah,
left.
I think he just, like sort of looked a little bit tired there, and maybe not as able to recover on the holds that he thought he might be able to.
And there is our current leader, Alex Megos.
Yeah, I think it's worth saying, like, even at this stage, like, I think that idea of, like, sort of camaraderie with your competitors kind of plays a role in the sport. Like, I'm sure Alex is like, excited to be continuing to progress, but I also think that he like wants to see everyone kind of doing their best, and I think he's really been a good, sort of like leader in that respect. Like, I think he's always like really friendly with like other teams, and able to give back and not like, just wanting to win every comp.
Yeah, he's a climber's climber, is Alex.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I think that's what is distinct for this sport versus other ones in a lot of ways.
Yeah, very.
I'm sure he'd be excited to win too, but
Yeah, well, he wants people to do their best. He wants to beat someone climbing at their absolute limit, because then you've won properly. Seeing everyone slip off is...
Exactly. Yeah, or if everyone like tops because the route is too easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to earn it.
Right.
Here's Masahiro. He gets going. He's another one who hasn't competed since Morioka in Japan.
Yeah, also top 10 in the series ranking last year. So
yeah, he's got lots of potential. He was second in Jakarta last year in last year's sweaty comp.
Yeah, I think he also podiumed at the World Games as well. Yeah, very strong climber. Very confident
second in World Games. Well, we know by now that the bottom, apart from if they make a mistake, should be okay. It's just keeping it together for those black volumes up high. Who can break through there, challenge Alex for the top?
We got a couple coming.
Yeah. So we have Mrs. Masahiro, and we've got Jakob Schubert and Sasha Lehmann. Two very popular climbers out. But right now, Masahiro is going to make a play for the podium. Mejdi in bronze, Serato silver, Alex gold. This thing stand and a wild swing there.
Yeah, that was a cool foot kick. Sometimes that's hard to add into a dynamic move like that. But he tends to climb, I think, like quite powerful, and I think that's something he, at least looking at like the semifinals and some of the qualifiers this year, like I think he's really been able to control like both being able to do those more dynamic moves in an uncontrolled way, and then coming back and being able to rest, which hopefully we'll see after this move. Nice.
Jump to the shoulder press. It's the right foot up. Shaking out hard. I think I'm as interested in how they're resting as how they're climbing the route. I find it really interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that, it almost looks like everyone has a different kind of rest position that's their favorite.
I think Alex used it the longest. Like, he was there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like by the time he got to the black chips, he was at like 2 minutes, and I think a lot of the other athletes are moving a little bit faster.
Yeah, Masahiro doesn't use it that long. Swap the leg a couple of times. And again, this clip's been done a few different ways too. Oh, really having to fight. And he gets the high heel in, and I think he's going to drop down before making the clip.
Yeah, keeping those feet on.
Oh, swinging for a sec.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to aim for those swinging draws for sure.
Yeah, because it's long. That swing, if you do miss it. What's that? What was he standing on there?
Yeah, just smearing on the wall, but making it look chill.
What's the undercling?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He's doing some wild stuff out here. Right, left hand on the pinch, bumps up to the next one. Okay, how much has he managed to save?
Wow, yeah.
I'm just imagining a car's petrol gauge, you know, like where is he on that? Is he full? Is he empty? Halfway?
He looks like he's fitting into this somewhat rest position pretty well.
Yeah, he'll shake out all he can. He's got to make that right clip, and he's going to do so with the high heel.
Getting the
double.
nice clip, yeah, that's smart.
It's good to see all the bolts blocked as well, but he slips. And I think he might be running out of that fuel gauge here.
Oh, nice.
Just on the left. Still
Very
on.
strong. Oh.
Then he falls.
Also not quite getting the plus either. Oh.
So outside of a podium for him.
Yeah, that means Alex will for sure be on the podium. Pretty cool.
All right, well, first confirmed medalist. Standing right in the front in the lights.
It's so hard when it just comes down to 1+, too.
Yeah, I mean, look, ideally we'd want more separation here, let's be honest, like we would, but that move proving super hard.
Yeah, I have to say, I think like the biggest difference between Alex's climbing and everyone else's is taking that long rest there, getting into the knee bar, getting a straight arm. It's almost like he was able to reset mid-route, and other athletes seem to still be carrying a little bit of the pump from the bottom into the rest of the route.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. He just seemed to lock into that position better than anyone else.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like if Jakob or anyone else that might be coming out later might have also chatted with Alex about that rest and might do the same thing. It's very like climbing style dependent, and it's also hard with a route this long. You don't want to take too much time like at the bottom, or at least I don't normally.
No, exactly.
Even though I do.
Yeah, and it's a funny place for a rest. It's almost exactly halfway.
Yeah, it's like right after the two dynamic moves too. It's almost like to just give yourself a little breather before doing like more resistance climbing.
Okay. Well, this was Smashy Hero's run. He somehow got the left and right. I thought he was gone way before that. Got those creepy side pulls.
It'd be really cool to see if either of these last two guys could break through there.
Do you know, having watched the broadcast and stuff, do you know how much the cameras do zoom in? Are you in any way aware that your face might be massive on the camera?
I had no idea, yeah. For sure.
Now you know.
Try not to think about it.
Well, now you will. I've ruined it for you.
Yeah. They're always watching.
Yeah, it's not at every broadcast, but here it's certainly the case. And the slow motion as well for the boulder, especially. Crazy. All right, Jakob Schubert comes out. And I was very excited to see him and Jesse here because the crowd just respond like that, and it is exciting.
Yeah, he's definitely won a couple medals before. He's, had a lot of great results in the past, and this crowd, like some of them probably have been watching him for over 10 years compete on the stage. So I'm sure they're excited to see him try to do it again.
I talked to him the other day, and we were talking about Boulder and lead, and he understands that perhaps the Boulder world has moved into the very young. They've grown up on these dynamic parkour style boulders that we can see, but lead, he's still super confident that he's got it, and he does. He's so good at this.
For sure. Yeah, I think the hold type has really changed the game for bouldering, and even though that's being presented in rope, I think still it's a fitness game, and hopefully like the most resistant climber wins here still.
That's what you want. You want them to be fighting endurance and pump and everything else.
Yeah. Of course, great to have like a couple tricky moves here and there too, but always nice when people can put in a fight. And I think we've really seen that on this route, even though everyone's kind of getting to the same spot.
Yeah. We're seeing everyone battle. Jakob is he's climbing well, but he's taking his time through here.
Yeah, I bet he also knows that he can rest halfway through the route. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him rest a little bit longer in that position. And I think it's okay, maybe in his mind, to be a little bit more careful there, just so that make to the rest, be safe, and then the rest will come. But not needing to maybe save as much energy by moving fast and potentially risking a slip.
Yeah, let's see if he has seen it. It's coming up. He's got to get this done first, though.
Nice. Yeah, that looks so smooth. Maybe the most static that we've seen it.
Awesome from Jakob. Right. Matches, and here he's just taking a moment to shake out before committing.
It's pretty cool. We haven't seen anyone do this rest without a toe, so pretty neat. He's climbed on this wall a lot. They have a lot of outdoor walls, or outdoor routes here normally when there's not a competition. So he knows this wall really well, and I kind of wonder if that's also, nice to be competing in your hometown.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone gets it if you've got a World Cup there. I mean, you guys had it in Salt Lake.
Yeah, but also just knowing all the cracks and features of the wall changes, I think is an advantage in some way.
Yeah, it's a good point. And he'll know every angle change, won't he? Every screw hole.
Yeah. Nice, looking really smooth there.
Well, let's see if he can find this rest. And he immediately locks in the left.
Yeah, him and Alex often talk about beta, I would say, and I'm sure they were psyched to see that knee bar.
All right, he thought about changing it, stays with the left. And interesting, he's crimping that rest rather than, I think Alex was on the sloper like that.
Yeah, I think he's really trying to find a position where he can let both of his arms be straight. And there he goes, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing exactly as Alex did. So resting, he'll let the clock tick down. I mean, he knows tops haven't been a thing, and therefore you might as well rest because it's it's likely that there's going to be a tricky sequence here. coming up, so you might as well use it.
Yeah, I think he was also smart as far as like, you know, trying to move the foot as much as possible, trying to find the optimal position. And, you know, he definitely is a person who knows how to rest.
Right,
Wow.
Jakob. Well, the most dramatic music
Yeah,
in the
wow.
background.
I wouldn't want that on my rest, I have to say.
No.
Sometimes I feel like I like climb with the music, so like the more intense it gets, it's almost like, okay, I need to climb faster now.
Do you hear it? I was going to ask
Yeah,
you that.
for sure. I try to tune it out as much as possible, but you know, like a beat drop like what just happened, it's hard to ignore.
Yeah, because I find it affects me in the commentary box. I never know if it's the athletes as well when you climb. Jakob makes the clip from the heel.
Yeah. He's just, yeah, incredible on crimps, I would say, so that probably did feel like a jug to him.
And that heel as well. I can't believe you can get a heel in.
Getting the foot up really high. That's interesting.
Oh, yes.
We haven't seen any athletes do that yet.
No, he's got, look,
Finding a rest, yeah.
This is such good climbing from Jakob.
Yeah, that was really smart.
But is it showing the fact he's tired, the fact he's having to find these rests? But look at that rotation as he gets the heel in.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just like a reset. Like it's not even like you're necessarily super tired. You just like are like, okay, I know this next section is going to be hard and there aren't going to be rests, so let me take advantage of the rest that I have right here.
He gets the heel underneath.
Yeah. Interesting, yeah, not getting any quick shakes there, but maybe he doesn't need it. All right, there we go.
Yeah, here the micro shake start because this is it. This is the sequence, left hand.
Wow.
And he's in
tired.
8th, and he could move to 1st in just a couple of holds.
Yeah. Ooh, not being that quick quite yet.
He wants to bring that right foot up.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh, and he falls on 42.
I think he'll get the plus, though. I would be surprised.
Yeah, that would, and it does. Look, jumping right up there to silver. So he's guaranteed bronze.
Guaranteed bronze, yeah. Awesome.
Once again,
hometown.
yeah, Jakob on the big stage does it.
Yeah, I'm sure that he wanted to do more, but yeah, still incredible to see. And he's also one that's been climbing 4 days on in a row, so, you know, I'm sure he, you know, couldn't give his full capacity, but really quite good.
Alex has actually looked more and more nervous as the competition's
I
gone
would say
on.
so, yeah.
He kind of sat down and he's like, you know, we'll see what happens. You're first on, whatever. Now, as we come up to our last competitor, Alex is one climber away from gold. This is Jakob entering in a haze of chalk as he blows. Rested throughout, and as the MC just said, 6 people falling on the same hold.
Oh, was it 7 almost?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I guess maybe. Huh. Yeah.
And look at this.
6.
That was the sequence. It was crazy when he brought the high feet through.
Yeah, it looked like he was able to get a lot back there, but maybe this getting the foot out actually was a little bit more taxing.
Yeah, his heel just fitted perfectly into that dish.
I think, yeah, one thing like this next section, like he maybe didn't get as many quick shakes there. Like I know several of the athletes were able to do like 2 shakes on each hand really fast just before this top section. It also looks like he, didn't like this far right foot.
He looked over at it for a second.
Yeah.
There was Jesse sitting down by the coaches, cheering him every step of the way. He had the left hand on really well, but it's different in holding it and then pulling on it.
For sure. It looks like the right hold might be like a little bit better than the one you're going to, and I wonder if athletes are like looking at it being like, okay, it's probably like the same, it looks like the same hold type, but it might just be a little bit more slopey, and you know, when it's like in the back, you can't really see it, you're just going to it, thinking that it, you know, will be the same as the one you're grabbing. It can be kind of deceptive in that sense. So added challenge to that move.
Yeah, and it's high up on the wall, and it's hard to see over the back of it. Even with binoculars, you wouldn't really be able to get it. All right, Sasha Lehmann is out, and crowd favorite. He hasn't had the best of Boulder seasons. In the top 30 in Innsbruck the other day, Seoul 60th, but it's lead where we love to watch him go. He was 16th in Jakarta, 6th in Edinburgh, but 2nd in Copper.
Yeah, so even though he competed in bouldering, since he didn't make the semis, he was able to have a rest day right before this competition started, and you know that is a big benefit, I would say, compared to Alex and Jakob. And he was looking really strong in the semis yesterday.
He was,
A
yeah.
lot of confidence.
And fresh as well.
Yeah, he's our last hope for the elephant trunk.
Please, someone sit on it.
Please.
Otherwise, Jesse's going to have to climb it after dark, and it will be highly illegal, and he might get arrested. We don't want that.
Don't make me do anything illegal, Sasha. Come on.
All right, here we go. Again, we have a tune change to rank up the tension. He's looking to get above Alex's 44 plus. Jakob Schubert on 42 plus, but because of countback, he's ahead of Serato, who's in bronze, also on 42 plus. I said yesterday, it depends on what kind of Sasha turns up, and yesterday Sasha really turned up, and every now and again he can have a moment, so I'm nervous when I watch Sasha climb.
For sure. Yeah, and I think you could hear Alex in the background cheering for him. You know, once again, like I think he wants everyone to be able to do the best, even if it costs him the gold there.
Yeah, well, Alex was greeting Jakob and watching him on stage. He was standing up, giving him a big hug until a couple of seconds ago. So Alex getting behind everyone.
Nice.
Straight into the heel.
Yeah, pretty cool to see a heel. Like, I don't think anyone's used a heel there, only toes so far, so finding his way.
Exciting stuff. Can anyone knock Alex off up into the pocket? On the slopers.
You can see that left hand sliding. Nice.
Good work from Sasha. Now we know the key is milking this rest.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like a little taxing for him on that lower section. Maybe he's just a little bit nervous.
Yeah, breathes out. He does get a bit nervous sometimes, and when he does, you can see it affect him.
But I also think that like having a rest in the middle to kind of calm down, breathe a little bit, I think will only help him. I didn't want to say it before, but I think it's really impressive that all 9 guys were able to get through those pretty challenging sections.
What we're seeing just now, by the way, is where he needs to get to. We're just past that.
Yeah, moving a little faster through that rest, but he's also one that can do quick shakes and get a lot back.
Oh, he's very stretched out here, though. Makes it work and kicks from the right hand. All right, Sasha gets going. Onto the pinches, all important here.
Yeah, moving nice and efficiently through these sections for sure. Maybe doesn't like that hold. Nice.
Right, up to the pinches, here we go. Sasha Lehmann, head flicking as he tries to see the next hold.
Yeah, great to be able to get a couple shakes right here.
He looks pretty casual as he looks down at the clock. Jakob and Alex sitting next to each other. They can see Alex shouting up.
Yeah. He's a very distinct yell.
Sasha nearing the position now, but he's still in 9th. This is what's mad about this final.
Nice.
But looking solid now,
Here's
really able to work. Cutting loose with the left heel in, reaches
Yeah,
through.
there we go.
And the crowd behind him immediately
Making
losing
that
to second
clip.
position. Now
Oh,
this
wow,
is
this is it.
This is it. This is where Alex fell. Can Sasha do it?
Oh.
Well, he touches it. So
get the
currently
plus.
he's on 44. If he gets the plus, he will win.
It looked like he had the plus. He touched it. There
And
we
he
go.
has. So that plus, they made us wait for it, Jesse, but he's moved into gold.
Oh, just incredible.
I'm trying to remember when Sasha last won a comp. I need to look back here.
I think it was Villar in like 2019 maybe, but I'm just making that up.
Yeah, I mean, he won the World Games.
Yeah.
God, I'm literally scrolling back through the stats. Well, Sasha Lehmann takes victory. Yeah, Moscow, no, it's Continental Championship. Oh, I'll find it out later. Regardless, Sasha takes victory here. So cool
Wow,
for
just
him.
incredible. He had an awesome run in semifinals, and it's really cool to see that he was able to carry that into finals.
Sasha Lehmann with a shake of her head. Well, we had to wait for the scores to be updated. We thought he would get the plus. So Sasha Lehmann in a gold medal position.
Yeah, it was Villar 2019.
Villar 2019,
yeah, so,
wow.
Yeah.
And Sasha straight to the coaches down at the front. Lena, the photographer, waiting in the perfect position to get that shot.
That's incredible climbing. Yeah, super great.
He milked the rest well, and he just ground his way through. And now he will go back onto the stage, join the rest of the athletes.
Yeah, what a podium. These are all like, yeah, all-time lead climbers of our generation.
Exactly that, yeah. And look, I'm glad the camera switched to this because everyone immediately stood up when Sasha walked over.
Yeah.
And Alex smiling despite being beaten. He doesn't mind. It's a silver for Alex, and Sasha, the best man on the night tonight.
Yeah, and what a podium to follow.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, the women's was tough. The men's was cruxy. But whatever you think about the routes, it was exciting throughout. Oh, it's our first league comp done, Jesse. I can't believe it.
Wow, yeah. May there be many more.
There are many more. We're off to Vila in a couple of weeks' time. But look at this from Sasha, right heel in, similar to the others. And then the top of the wall was where it all counted for him. That was the hole that sent so many. He just got it perfectly, much lower down, straight away into the closed crimp.
Yeah, I think having that foot out right was really a key too. Sets your body position up so that you can, yeah, like hold it at the right angle.
All right, Jesse, you're going to head off for the interviews.
Right.
That might be it for you, so I'll say goodbye. But thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, this is an absolute treat, Matt. Thanks so much for having me.
Please come back, but make every final from now on. See you soon, Jesse.
See ya.
The Olympic champion, Alberto Cines Lopez. On 7th, Masahiro Higuchi. On 6th, Satone Yoshida. On 5th, all there, 42, he got the plus. HD Shaw. On 4th, 42 plus, Sorato Anraku, the overall Boulder World Cup winner. And these, ladies and gentlemen, are the top 3.
So Sasha screaming into the night sky as he took that victory. Brilliant from him. And now the athletes are presented. Jesse will go down to the front. Alex stands up. Silver medal for him. And Jakob, awesome for him to get the bronze. But Sasha Lehmann deserves every moment of that gold medal. I remember in Moscow when he just failed to qualify for the Olympics, how devastated he was after that. And he has a lot of people's support behind him, and he deserves this victory, and it's good to see. Oh, what a competition, eh? Well, the crowd are bathed in blue. The other night they were bathed in purple. Clearly there's been some strategic lighting decisions gone on here. Sasha Lehmann, 44 plus. Alex Megos, also 44 plus, but due to comeback, he will be bumped down to second place. Alex being first out. Jakob Schubert with 42 plus. And that 42 plus, well, look how many athletes got there or thereabouts. All the way down to Satone Yoshida in 6th. Masahiro Higuchi, 42. Alberto, 42. And Taisei Homer, last place with a 40 plus, but coming back from a really nasty injury. So just good to see him out here on this stage. Wow, brilliant results. And while we wait for our interview, I think we're going to have a look at the top 3. Let's have a check out of how they got their medals. Okay, let's go down to the front of the stage where Sasha is waiting.
Second profession. Yeah. I'm gonna sing. Sasha, that was an unreal performance. What was going through your head up there?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that much anymore up there. I was just fighting hard. I think the whole audience here, everyone out there pushed me up, and it's just a huge fight, and so happy that I made it up there.
Just incredible. Is there anything different you would say about this lead season versus previous ones?
I don't know, it's so much different. Of course, for me, it didn't start that well last time. Again, I worked hard for this season to make it on the podium again, get another victory. And yeah, that it already happens here in Innsbruck in such a cool location, it's just amazing.
Yeah, anything you want to say to people back home or anything else?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody that supports me, like the whole team around me, coaches, family, training partners. It's just such a huge support that I get, and that's what it makes possible for me.
Awesome. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to watch you climb today, so huge congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
Well, thank you to Sasha. And nice that Jessie asked him for messages back home. Always worth remembering that people are watching and supporting. Well, remember, we had the women's comp earlier on today, and I think in a sec we're going to see our top 3 women as well and how they did it. They got their medals, and the podium will follow after this as our evening winds down here in Innsbruck. Let's see how the women did it. Well, congratulations to all the women standing on the podium and to all of our athletes who competed here tonight. What a show, what a venue, and what a start to the 23 lead season. Busy week, there's lots of broadcasts to go back and watch if you've missed any. Para at the beginning of the week was really good, please go and see that. Boulder semi-finals, Boulder finals, lead semi-finals, lead finals. It's been absolutely packed. It's felt like a world championship, and that is the women's final positions. Janja Garnbret taking double gold with 39 plus. Aimori 33. Jessie Pilz in bronze with 25 plus. But Rabatou just outside, pushed down due to count back on that 25 plus. And we can see how that 25 hold or thereabouts really was a sticking point for the women. Fairly low scoring for them, a real battle. Helene Janicourt unfortunate to fall low on an early slip from her. Unlucky, but she will return stronger than ever before, I'm sure. Good work from all of those athletes. Shen So as well, Mia Krampel, Talia Grossman. A really stacked list of athlete names. And the podium is being built in the background on the main stage. In fact, it's ready to go. So the medals will be awarded soon, but just wait. A shame we didn't see that top final move me and Jessie were talking about. I feel like I curse it sometimes when there's an exciting move that I want to see. It tends not to happen, so maybe I'll just be quiet on that one in the future. But you can see it. Look at it. It's enormous sticking up there, that nose-like thing just below the spotlight. The podium is being prepared. The athletes will be putting on team kits, jackets on. The IFSC staff will be ready, and here are the women as they parade on. Aimori, Janja Garnbret, Jessie Pilz.
Highly official, ladies and gentlemen, the awarding ceremony
of the award ceremony will kick off.
Innsbruck Women 2023. Here are the medalists, and here are our distinguished guests.
The distinguished guests on the left-hand side. Marcus Skolaris, IFSC president, steps forward.
We'll hand over the medals. Deborah Garwin,
Debbie, Secretary General, stands and waves.
The mayor of Innsbruck, Georg Willi. And the flowers will be handed
Mayor of
over
Innsbruck.
by Eugen Bucha, president of the Austrian Climbing
President of the
Federation.
Austrian Climbing Federation. They're introduced,
Leads women.
but on the stage is the athletes who we're here to celebrate, and there they are.
Representing Österreich,
Looking
Jessica
very serious.
Jessie
Well, I think there'll be a smile now. Jessie Pilz in front of our home crowd, and most of them have stayed to watch this. Bronze for Jessie.
Medaille von Georg Willi, die Blumen von Eugen Bucha und die Gratulation. Sie eröffnet den Forschungsweltcup mit Bronze.
Jessie holds the flowers and smiles out. She'll be soaking this in. Special, special for her.
Second place and silver medalists representing Japan, Ai Mori.
And then Ai Mori up on the podium once more. Silver for her.
The medal is handed over by Deborah Garvin, Secretary General IFSC. Und der Blumenexperte ist Eugen Bucha. Congratulations, Ai Mori.
Holds the flowers up towards the audience. We did see the flower tossing tradition come back here in Innsbruck, so those flowers might be thrown very soon.
First place.
And finally, Janja Garnbret, for the second time this week, gets a gold medal. She won gold in Boulder, she wins gold in lead, returning from injury and all of the struggles that she went through at the beginning of the season. This is payoff. Janja Garnbret wins gold. And now, as it has many times in the past, we will listen and enjoy the Slovenian national anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, most of you stand, but if you don't stand, please rise for the national anthem in honor to the winner of Slovenia.
Huge congratulations to Janja Garnbret. Full of confidence now, that injury is behind her. She will move on. Vila in a couple of weeks. Paraclimbing comp in Vila before that. And after Vila, Chamonix, Briançon, and a small matter of a world championship. And there we see the flower throw. Lucky members in the crowd. And the gentleman reaching very high for that one. Men will come next. And the women leave the stage back to the media scrum and all the things they have to do after comp's finish. I'll be going down to chat to Janja in a bit. But right now, let's have a look at the maidens. Sasha Lehmann, 44 plus, pushing Alex down to silver, who also got 44 plus, but due to count back, he hits the silver. Jakob Schubert. 2 Austrians on the podium, good to see. 42 plus for him, and that 42 hold, look how many got that one as well. Down to 8th place, Alberto Jimenez Lopez. He went from 9th to 3rd in like a heartbeat on this route. And let's see how the men did it one more time, shall we? Huge moments out on the stage. I remember this comp for a long time. Well, things have reset. It's time for the men to be celebrated. Coldplay in the background. About 80% of the audience are still here, still watching, still enjoying this. As they should. We won't see Innsbruck for another year. It'll sleep, of course, being visited by international athletes all the time, which is, for many of them, their home, and certainly the place they go to train and try hard when they're based in Europe. Legendary wall with legendary facilities breeds the best athletes. True hub of climbing here, well, the home of climbing, as it's described at on the banners that adorn the walls. And here we go, the men are out onto the stage. Alex Megos leads the way, followed by Sasha, who won gold, and Jakob Schubert. The flowers are there, the medals are there, and there are our dignitaries ready to go. Distinguished guests, as our MC calls them. I think dignitaries is a worse word. Distinguished guests sounds better. Well, Sasha Lehmann takes a big breath. It's been a while for him. 2019 in Villars was the last time he won. 4 years ago, but he's back on the top spot. Once more, our distinguished guests are introduced.
President of the Austrian Climbing Federation. Third place.
And this man is going to get quite a reaction when he stands on his podium. Jakob Schubert takes the bronze.
Jakob Schubert.
Jakob stands on top spot. Not the top spot, a top spot. Bronze for Jakob. But I bet it feels like a gold for him. A medal here means a lot. And it means a lot to the crowd who watch him, who train at this wall, who'll see him on a regular basis here. Their hero has a medal.
Mit den Blumen an den Mann, der Stabilität neu definiert. Der amtierende Weltmeister, Bronzemedaillengewinner, Jakob Schubert.
Alex Magos, who, even though he was sitting in first position, did not stop cheering his competitors. Alex Magos takes the silver tonight in Innsbruck.
Secretary General, IFSC, and the flowers of the hands of Boulder, President of Austrian Federation.
Smell them roses, Alex. And finally, he's waited a long time for another gold, but he deserved this one. A great climb from Sascha Lehmann. His eyes are shining in the lights. And he stands on our top spot of the podium.
World Cup 2023, representing Switzerland.
Representing Switzerland is Sascha Lehmann. Huge smile across his face.
Sascha Lehmann! Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Switzerland.
Well, there we go. The last notes ring through the stadium, and for us, that's it for Innsbruck 2023. We move on. The circuit continues relentlessly, and the athletes will get another chance in a couple of weeks to get to where that man is standing, Mr. Sascha Lehmann. Big moment for all three of them. Trying to lip read that joke. I can't. And they're discussing the flower throw, and I think they've decided to do the flower throw. Here we go. They move to the edge of the stage, and everyone's hands are raised in the audience, begging for the flowers to go in their direction. It's a tricky choice. It's hard, this. Who do you go for? Do you close your eyes and just lob it? Jakob goes for the underarm. Alex deciding on a different position. Oh, and gives it to his coach, and that is a, oh, that is a very nice moment. He deserves that. I think he's as emotional as Alex is. Right, well, that is about it for this evening's entertainment. We will return in Vila in a couple of weeks' time for the lead, and next week for the paraclimbing competition. A massive thank you to all the athletes, organisers, and people behind the scenes. We will return very soon for more IFSC comp climbing action.